Zdravo.
Hello, wie geht's?
Buongiorno.
Hello, how are you?
Olá, tudo bem?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Preply. Preply is an online language learning marketplace connecting tutors to hundreds of thousands of learners in over 180 countries worldwide. More than 35,000 teachers teach over 50 languages, powered by a machine learning algorithm that recommends the best tutors for each learner. Hit the link in the description box for access to 30% off your very first language lesson. That is 30% off your very first language lesson. Thank you, Preply. Now back to the show. All right, guys, welcome back to the Define Podcast. Today we have a special guest. Well, JJ's here for a second. Let's go. Today we have a special guest, one of our coaches, mentors in the game, the UFC's newest addition to the 155 weight category, Landon, the Lone Wolf. Quiñones. What's up, brother? How are you?
Chilling, man. Sunday, so it's a rest day for me. I've had a long-ass week. Training camp has been whooping my ass, so I'm just chilling, man. Today, I'm just in my zone, in my zen.
Hey, no, I know you look relaxed. You look chilling, bro. I feel you got the haircut going.
Do I?
Looking spiffy. I mean, hey, look at that. We got the mohawk going. Let's go.
That's signature, right? That's your signature.
I wouldn't call anything a signature.
Here, pull up a little bit so we can see you in the...
Yeah, pull in.
Pull in. You're like, you're too zen. You're too zen.
There you go.
All right, there we go. Tighten up.
Look crazy.
No, it looks good. You gonna braid it? I saw you. Hold on. You had the do-rag on. I saw the other day.
I actually did braid it.
That shit was too tight?
The thing, it actually was good. It was perfect, but because I used to get haircuts with a fade around, and then I would keep the top longer.
Yeah. My
hair in the back was a little too short, so basically every time I would braid it when I was wrestling, the outside braids would come out.
Oh.
So now I'm just gonna let it grow, and then by the fight time, it'll be good. So.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes, well, you know, I'm bald, so I ain't never. I had cornrows, and I was like,
can't relate.
Yeah, can't relate. I actually, when I was younger, but anyway, I know.
I'm still scared for me, bro, because my uncle started losing their hair in their 30s.
Yeah,
so I'm scared.
My Puerto Rican family, everyone's thinning. I actually have this little spot on my beard. I shaved on accident because I was trimming with with an electric razor.
Yeah.
And before I was in Australia, I had no problem. I had full facial hair, and I shaved my face because it was uneven.
Yeah.
So I fucked it up. So I was like, fuck it, I'll shave all of it and it'll just go back. But I shave all of it and I have this little spot.
Oh, no.
There's like a weird little alopecia spot on my shit. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? What's next?
Yeah.
My head? What the fuck? But it happens everywhere. My cousins are in their 20s thinning hair. So many people.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a Puerto Rican thing or what, but
It's
just a
genetics,
life
bro.
thing.
I'm scared. I'm scared
I
for
don't
my
know.
life.
I lost my shit at how old? I'm 28 now. I lost my shit when I was in college. I was 23. I lost my shit.
Very mysterious.
It was sad. I was crying, bro. I legit. I couldn't let it go. I was like, no, nigga, fuck. But anyway, Landon, let's get started on your journey here, man. You've been in the game for quite some time for your age. You say you're 28 years old. But you've been fighting since what? You were 18?
I've been training for 11 years. I've been fighting for 10. So
okay.
I had my first fight when I was 18 years old in high school.
God,
so I've been doing this a little minute. I might be young in the game, and I might be young in age, and I wouldn't even call myself a vet because I just got to the UFC. But in all reality, I've been doing this a long time. I've been to many gyms. I've trained with many people, many coaches. So I feel like I have a pretty fair amount of experience for being my age. So
no, you do, man. You've been. You've coached us for a while. You coached a lot of people in Southern Florida. A lot of people can trace their MMA lineage to you specifically. You know what I mean? It's kind of strange that you're the same age as us, a little bit older, you're a little bit younger. But you still have that maturity as far as fighting goes. You have that. I said this on a previous podcast. We were talking about you. I don't think anyone's mind can go to the deep depths of knowledge you have with MMA because you're so focused and locked in. You've been doing it for so long, like you said, and you have this just special mindset when it comes to fighting specifically. And where do you think that comes from?
I don't know, man. Just a lot of trial and error, and also just being a super nerd for the sport. Nowadays I don't really watch fights as much, but back when I was starting, I think within the first 5 years of training, I didn't watch TV or watch anything. Every time I was at home, I was watching a fight. There was fights always on my TV. I was always trying to think of things. I was shadow boxing in place. My mind was always racing. Now I feel like as I've gotten older, I'm still just as passionate, but I'm a little more burnt out than I was when I was younger.
Okay.
So my mind has started to slow down on that. I actually prefer to stay away from fighting and training and watching fights when I'm in my free time because I do it so often that I feel like I need that balance in my life. So
I can relate to
that. But I feel like it's just an extensive amount of studying and just meditation on subjects and whatnot. But I don't know. It's something that you just have. You know what I mean?
Right.
If something's for for you, you're gonna excel at it. You know what I mean? Or like you're gonna excel and you're gonna want to find ways to excel at it. So I feel like that's just kind of the way that my mind works.
So
you know?
so take us through like what got you to want to do MMA or martial arts? At what age?
Well, growing up, I really wasn't a violent kid. You know what I mean? I always, obviously, as you guys know me, I've always had a loud ass, obnoxious mouth. Like, you know what I mean? I talk out of turn. I say things that are uncalled for sometimes. I kind of lack a filter. Yeah. So I got into altercations, things growing up, but I was always like kind of scared of the confrontation. Like, I feel like a lot of it came from like altercations with my brother. My brother used to whoop my ass when I was a kid. So I felt like I was really scared, and I didn't really have any confidence in myself. My brother's 5 years older than me. Okay. So 10 years old, 15-year-old whooping my ass. Yeah. I really didn't have that confidence growing up because I feel like I was always discouraged. I never had things. Like I didn't do team sports. You know what I mean? I was very sheltered. My brother was in and out of my life. Like he was going. His father lived in Missouri. My mother was down here, so he was always coming back and forth. So I kind of grew up as an only child. So I wasn't put in a lot of sports and didn't have a lot of opportunities to interact with a lot of the people. So I didn't really have a lot of confidence or camaraderie. I dabbled in martial arts a little throughout my life. Like when I was 5 years old, I did karate. But when you're a little kid doing martial arts, it's not really to learn to fight. It's more to learn to be coached and learn that camaraderie and discipline. Like I'm talking about, right? Yeah, yep. But I never stuck with anything. I tried that. I tried boxing. I tried a little bit of traditional jiu-jitsu, which was kind of like judo. When I was like 14 years old, didn't stick with that. I just wanted to stay at the crib and play video games. And like my mom, we all do, and my mom wasn't very into pushing me. She wasn't a very strong personality, so I feel like she never really like push me or force me to do anything, so which is good in some ways, but in some ways I also wish that I was pushed because I probably would have developed and matured a lot better, a lot quicker. So one day I was obviously a degenerate kid. I used to be a kid that would skip school. I'd get into fights in school. I'd hop off campus and smoke with my boys and do drugs and throw high school parties.
Yes,
I wasn't. Yeah, you already know. I wasn't no good kid.
Typical South Florida kid.
Typical Broward County degenerate, right? I wasn't good. I didn't see myself going to college. I didn't know what profession I wanted to pursue. As far as finishing school, I thought I was just going to get a regular-ass job and just live an everyday fucking life, and maybe I figured out along the way, or I'd probably end up in jail because I was on my way to getting into some serious issues. Right. You know what I mean?
Thought that? Like
I don't know. I didn't think I would go to jail, but I just felt like now that I look back at the path and the things that I was doing, like I wasn't with the right people. I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't doing anything to benefit my life. You know, a lot of kids at that age are finding themselves. You know, I wasn't a very sociable person. I had a hard time socializing. I used to express myself a lot with aggression. So when I finally was able to, I did a lot of therapy as a kid. I went to like a school for like mentally distressed kids. They would search me every morning. I would do group therapy once a week.
Alternative school, right?
I went to like an alternative, but it was like, this wasn't Wood and Rogers or like a regular alternative school. It was a school, like a private school, that my parents put me in or my mom put me in to calm me down because I was super explosive. Right. And I had no self-control. So I was doing group therapy with a class every single day. I had private therapy once a week. Like, it was crazy. I had therapists coming to my house all the time. Like, I was a fucked up ass kid, like mentally. Like, I really, you know, growing up with no dad, having kind of an abusive stepdad, having a mother that had mental illness herself, I feel like I didn't have any direction. So when I finally got done with that school, the therapy kind of did help me. And I learning from watching other kids' situations, it kind of cooled me off. So I was finally able to like start making some friends and stuff. Right? Okay. So when I finally did that, that's why all the partying and all that stuff, it's like a whole new world to me. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying this. And a lot of kids going to college or at that older teenage life get into those things. They want to party. They want to fuck girls. They want to do everything that an adult does. They want to grow up so fast. And I wasn't really living in the moment or seeing the bigger picture. So one day I had skipped school. I used to do this. My mom is on disability now, so she don't really work. But before, what I would do is I would go to the bus stop in the morning, and I would wait for the bus. The bus would leave, and I would wait a couple hours for my mom to go to work.
Oh, yeah, you're closer, bro. My fault.
Yeah, sorry. So I would I would go to the bus stop, and I would wait for the bus to come. When the bus would leave, I would go back to the apartment buildings next door to mine, and I would wait for my mom to go to work. So my mom would go to work, then I would go back to the house. I would invite friends over. We'd have Gettys. We'd be drinking. We'd be smoking. We'd be chilling all day long. I had friends come over. One time we made a whole bunch of dabs with fucking butane fuel and almost set my house on fire. It was crazy. We were into some shit. Yeah, we were into some shit. Golly. But one day I had my boy Jack over, and he was doing classes at the time in Plantation. Wagner Rocha had a school he had opened aside from the one he had in Pines.
Okay.
So he had just started doing jiu-jitsu classes, and he was a degenerate like me, but he was hype about his class. He was a white belt, starting jiu-jitsu, he was always a fan of the UFC. So we were sitting, hanging out, and we were watching UFC fights, and he was showing me different fighters and all these guys, and I'm like watching this, I'm like, damn, like I feel like I might be able to do that. You know, I've done this, I've done that. But everybody thinks they can fight. They've never really been. I feel like even if you've been in the street fights, you ain't been in no real fucking fight.
Right.
So you've been with a trained fighter, or you've been in those classes. You've been with people that know what they're doing, regardless of how tough mentally or how street they are.
I just see red, bro.
Yeah,
I just see red.
Exactly. I feel like I didn't think quite like that. I feel like I had a little bit more of a humble approach to it because that shit was pretty crazy to me watching it. You know. But
you had prior training already.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it real training. I just dabbled.
Okay,
I dabbled, so I understood I understood what it was, but I didn't really have the same respect like I do now. Obviously.
Okay.
So I was watching John Jones fights, Anthony Pettis fights. I was watching Jose Aldo fights. But obviously, I talked about this on The Ultimate Fighter, and I'm sure I've talked to you guys about this. The one fighter that stuck out to me because I had such hard issues socializing as a kid. And I was a super pothead as well. Was watching Nick Diaz. He was showing me Nick Diaz fights, the original bad boy of MMA.
Yeah.
And I was watching him flick dudes off. And like obviously I have a more martial artist approach to it now, even though I still have my big ass mouth and say what I gotta say.
Right.
I feel like watching him flick people off and just like the way people loved him, even though he was such a brash personality and he was a pothead and like he did what the fuck he wanted to do. I felt like seeing how you can be so free in this sport, and no matter who you are or how you are, people will still accept you. That kind of like inspired me, and because I had no direction and had no idea what I wanted to do, I didn't see myself excelling at anything. I felt like I wanted to try it, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I tried it, I went to my first class. I couldn't even run a full lap around, like full 3 laps around the mat because I was having asthma attacks. I used to smoke so much, and I was so frail and unathletic. And I used to have to stop and take inhaler pumps. Yeah, right. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was terrible.
Fuck.
A skinny pothead kid.
Yeah.
And I did my first class, and I started going 3 days a week. I would talk like I was serious about it, but I really wasn't training like I was serious for it. I'm just a 17-year-old kid doing classes. I really liked it, and I saw myself pursuing it, but I really wasn't fully sure of it, right? And then one day I was with my boys, and I was at my homegirl Julia at the time's house. I don't really hang out with her anymore, but she was a really good friend of mine at the time. You know, you friends phases of your life, right?
Of course.
And I was at her house, and her mom had like soundproof walls, and her brothers were in a band, so we would throw parties at her house all the time. Her mom would sleep right through it.
Damn.
It was fucking wild. Like the homecoming party from my high school, everything we threw at her house.
She set herself up for that one.
Yeah, but that was like our spot, our hangout spot. So we were day drinking one time and chilling and doing shit, and we decided to do some acid. It was my first time doing acid.
Okay.
That's a scary time.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, but I thought it was fucking great. That's what was always my favorite thing to do was like the psychedelics and stuff.
Yeah,
Not so much mushrooms because mushrooms.
But before, before when you don't know what's coming, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, but back then I was doing so much shit that like I was mentally like.
Fuck it.
I was optimistic. I was like, I'll be fine.
It'll be a good time type shit.
Exactly. I was already in the mindset that I was gonna have a good time, so I was having a good time. Like there was a few moments the trip gets a little weird and a little crazy, but at no point was I like, oh my god, I gotta get out of here. Like I wasn't flipping shit. I knew what I was getting myself into. I cleared my day. I knew it was good.
Yeah.
So
that's a smart way. That's a smart way to do it.
Nah, for sure.
That's a smart way.
So I feel like what really set the tone and pushed me into pursuing this fully, and like it was. I know it sounds fucked up. I went to the mirror. I went to the bathroom. I took a piss and I looked in the mirror. I was tripping sacks. I was like peaking. And I looked at myself and I saw.
All right, I just wanted to take the time out to thank our new sponsors, We Hate Clubs. We Hate Clubs is a brand which was developed with the idea that people should live outside of their comfortable spaces. Leaning into music, art, photography, parties, and fashion, We Hate Clubs is built to function as something greater than oneself. Make sure to follow We Hate Clubs on Instagram if you're in the Chicagoland area. Now back to the show.
Like all the like acne on my face, and I saw how skinny I looked, and like I felt like I looked so unathletic. I just didn't like what I looked at when I looked at myself.
Right.
And like I felt like I was like, damn, like bro, you don't ever finish anything. I used to play a lot of basketball. I always wanted to play like AAU. I went to AAU and I saw how big the kids were, and I quit. I was too small, too unathletic, and I felt like all these 14-year-olds dunking discouraged me, and I was out of there.
Motherfuckers are big, though.
But regardless of how small I was or undersized I was, my mentality was a quitter's mentality. And I feel like that was like not having good examples growing up. That was kind of how it was brought up. But I feel like I always had something in me that wanted to be great. So I felt like when I saw myself, I didn't like what I saw. And having seen the Nick Diaz fights and having been training like the way I've been training, I went from I hated it so much that I quit everything that day. I stopped doing drugs. I stopped drinking. I even stopped smoking weed. Like now I don't even smoke weed that much, but like I used to smoke like every day. And even after that I started smoking again, but I quit like for a year straight. Didn't do anything but train. I was training all morning, all afternoon. My coach at the time who owned a gym in Plantation, Scotty McAdam, he died, rest in peace to him. But he used to own a glass company. So I would go in the morning, go do glass jobs with him, like install mirrors, install shower doors, train 3 hours in the afternoon, rest, eat, come back, teach classes, and fucking train again another 2 hours at night.
Damn.
So it was like every single day, 7 days a week. And I know that sounds ridiculous saying 7 days a week, but when I was 18 years old, 17 years old, your body can handle that. So I was training like crazy.
100%.
And then my first jiu-jitsu coach at the time one day came into the gym on it was like just a random afternoon, and he's like, "Hey man, they're looking for fighters for next weekend on the card. Do you want to fight?" And I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I always told myself I wanted to do it, but like until you're really like in that moment where they offer you, you're just like, "Oh shit!" Like I'm really about to do this shit. Like, and what am I gonna say? No. Like I've been I talk all this shit. I talk so big. Like I want to do this. You know what I mean? You want to talk about it, Landon? You got to be about it. That's like my self-talk. Like you want to talk shit. Like you want to be about this shit, then you better go do this shit.
Right.
So I took the fight. I didn't cut like any weight. I fought at featherweight for my first fights up until like I was a pro. But I used to walk around like a $154 soaking wet. So it was like it wasn't like I cut anything. It was nothing. I'd sweat a little bit and I was on weight like that. No problem. You know what I mean? Like within a week and a half, I dieted down to 45. I didn't have to cut shit. I didn't do no water load. It was crazy. And
was it MMA or
it was
kickboxing?
MMA. I've never even fought kickboxing. I fought MMA all the way through. So I was 18 years old. I was going to Whitten Rogers at the time. I was in high school. And I fought at Renegades. My first fight was at Renegades. Oh, shit.
That's in the hood. Not in the hood, but
West Palm.
Yeah, I mean, Renegades is like,
we've all fought there.
That's like everyone fought there. It's like some grimy shit, though.
But that became a new thing again because back when I was there was so many promotions. There was Fight Time promotions. There was Real Cage Fighting. There was Combat Night. There was Patrick Ryan promotions. There was so much more promotions back when I was there, and the rules were so different. Like you couldn't ground and pound to the face unless you had 3+ fights.
Oh shit!
Like it was so different. It was so different back then. So. And that was 2014. 2014, my first amateur fight. And I remember before the fight, my coach back then was fucking crazy. Like he fought World Combat League, he had some experience, but like he was just fucking out of his mind.
Yeah.
He supplemented me the fuck up before that fight. He gave me some shit that opens up your blood vessels for your cardio. He gave me pre-workout. He gave me creatine. Like he gave me a whole bunch of shit. But the worst thing he could have given me was the fucking pre-workout, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking already. It's my first fight.
You're pumped up.
I'm already pumped up and freaking the fuck out. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm not gonna be nervous. Like I'll play basketball. I've done sports before. I get to the venue and I'm shitting my fucking pants. And the guy I'm fighting is like, he's not like athletic, but he's a lot older than me. And being 18 years old in school as a kid, you see someone that's 23, 24 years old, you're like, damn, that's a grown ass man. Like compared to me, like that's how I feel in my mind. I'm still a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fucking scared shitless. And I'm like, our warm up is like a mat no bigger than this table.
Yeah, they don't give you shit.
Swear to God, like,
and they give you like a cardboard box.
And our warm up wasn't outside. Our warm up was on the like where they have the little tables. They just moved tables to the side, and we had a smaller area than you guys did. You guys had a whole area to warm up in.
Damn, we upgraded. They upgraded us.
Even if you guys didn't have big mats, like you had a lot of space to hit pads. You have a lot of space.
Separated the two fighters. Yeah.
Yep, we were not separated. I could see him warming up. Like it was all fucked up. It was crazy.
Damn.
And I remember I went out there and I fucking blew my load the first round. I beat the shit out of the dude. Like,
yeah, you won.
I just think I threw so much he didn't even have a chance to get going or hit me.
Oh fuck!
I just threw so much. It was wild, no technique, anything I knew. I had no box. I was just wild as fuck, and I fucked him up the first round. I remember going to the corner in the first round. And I couldn't feel my legs. My legs were gone.
Shit.
My legs were gone.
That's a scary feeling,
It's
huh?
from the adrenaline.
Yeah.
But it was like, I've never felt anything like it to this day, as opposed to my first fight. Like, my legs from the adrenalit, I think it's from the pre-workout, too.
Yeah.
Like, it dumped
I
me
mean,
so
that's a
bad.
lot going on
it
right
dumped
there.
me so bad. And
I can't even imagine what that's like.
And it was your first time taking creatine like that day?
No, I had been taking shit like with my coach because I didn't know shit. I just listened to him. Like, just listen to my coach. I was a kid, you know what I mean? At least I never did steroids.
Oh, yeah.
Steroids, but powders and shit. Like,
Yeah.
And I was fucking tripping out. I was like shaking my legs. I couldn't feel my legs. I get up and I did the same thing again. I hit him with a spinning back fist. They stopped the fight.
Dang.
So I won. It was sloppy. I'll never show anybody that fight 'cause it was so ugly.
I'm looking up.
We gotta have a footage of it, like
on YouTube. It ain't on nothing like that.
They don't have it on
I hate
YouTube?
fucking no, fuck. No,
Oh,
I ain't
shit.
showing y'all.
But
it was so
we
ugly.
gotta find this archive fight.
It was so ugly and terrible, man. I'm so embarrassed.
It's your
of it.
first fight, though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
Like,
sure. But when
on
I
1
got,
week's notice too. So come on,
yeah,
bro.
but being someone that comes from where I come from, I fucking shitty ass like fucking household. You're very divided family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, like fucking hungry as fuck. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
never really was able to do anything as a kid. Very sheltered because I had a fucking crazy ass mom. I feel like I didn't have a lot of opportunities, man. So I feel when I won that fight, the sense of accomplishment
Of
that I got
course,
from that,
bro.
of making the fulfillment of feeling like I did something with myself. Like was what made me hooked to it. Like that I never
Okay.
wanted to leave it, you know. And I remember my cousin was in the crowd saying I was gonna get whooped, and like he
Damn.
wasn't saying that like rudely, like oh, like he didn't
Just
like
how
me.
cousins are.
He was just scared. Like
Yeah.
he didn't believe in me. Like and a lot of
Okay.
people never believed in me. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't like a super talented athletic. Like I told you, I couldn't even run laps or like 3 laps
Right,
around the
right.
fucking mat without breaking down. I couldn't run up a flight of stairs without fucking having an asthma attack.
Shit.
You know what I mean? So it's like to come from where I come from to get to that point to succeed in that moment just showed me how much like I want to see how far I can go.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So now we're at where we're at now, and we're still climbing. You know?
Yo,
So,
that's dope, man.
yeah.
That-
I've never
that's-
told anybody this full story, this
Hey.
into detail.
Yeah.
But since we're here right now, I guess I might as well.
That's
right?
a
So-
Defying podcast exclusive right
Yeah,
here. Let's
and-
go.
and-
You got it
I
today.
appreciate that.
When did you end up meeting Coach Roger? When did you run into him?
Yeah, that was my next question.
So
actually, yeah.
Scotty was my first coach when I was 17 years old. And I first met Roger, actually, this is funny because Roger wanted to fuck me up when he first met me.
Really?
Hell yeah, because obviously, like I told you, like I have a loud ass mouth, I have no filter, and sometimes I be talking out of line.
Yeah.
I don't do it as much anymore because obviously I'm growing up. I still fuck up sometimes. Don't get
Yeah.
it twisted. At least I ain't no Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I still be fucking up sometimes. But we were having a smoker tournament. Obviously, you see the Komodo tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
But this was like a gym versus gym smoker. So Scotty's kids, our kids, the Kumite MMA kids versus the ATT Sunrise kids. Because Roger was Scotty's coach at one point, and Scotty came from Roger. So my first coach was a Roger Crawl guy.
Okay.
But Scotty's first coach was also I forgot what his name was. This South African guy.
Drakus? No.
No, it's not. Hell no. It's a South because Scotty's
I know
South
it's South
African.
African.
Scotty's
Oh,
South
really?
African.
Okay.
And his coach was a South African Muay Thai guy that used to train at Rogers. I forgot his name. It's just not coming to me right now. If it comes to me, I'll
It's
let
not
you know.
important. I mean, yeah.
It's kind of because that
Oh,
was
is
the coach.
it?
It was Freddie Marfort, him, and then a couple other coaches at Sunrise, and then Roger as well.
Okay.
But they had a big pro squad, like an old school Wolfpack days.
Mm-hmm.
But they came over, and I remember watching these kids. I was cornering our kids against their kids, and I remember watching these kids fuck our kids up.
Really?
Like the ATT Sunrise kids looked like pros.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen kids that could fight like this. Like throwing jabs, throwing kicks, throwing like combinations, like moving their feet, and like the intention behind their strikes. Like these are fucking kids
Yeah.
banging each other up. Like you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I've never seen that. I've always seen like gyms very conservative, very protective of their people. They're
kids
worried to lose
especially.
members. Yeah, exactly. Especially with kids.
They
You
want to
know,
make it pretty for the parents.
yeah, but
and
our
stuff,
kids
yeah.
are not like that. The ATT Sunrise kids were not like that. And our kids are pretty tough too. But Scotty he started leaning more into the jiu-jitsu side of it and leaning away from the kickboxing, even because like they're young. And even though he was a kickboxer, which is weird to me. And like I remember I was in the corner of one of these kids against one of my boys now at Sunrise now. He was younger than me at the time, but like he's a little older now. I think he's like 21 now, right? His name's TJ, and he fought one of our kids, Damien. I don't know what Damien is doing nowadays, but Damien was like our best teenager. Aside
Okay.
from me, Damien was our best kid. And Damien got whooped on. Like I'm talking head kick dropped in the
Damn.
corner, didn't even know where he was at. With headgear on, he was all fucked up. And I remember in the corner, I was trying to get Damien going, so I yelled, "Oh, that other kid got no hands," because that's how Scotty used to coach. Scotty
Yeah.
was very disrespectful, but I didn't know better because I was young and he was all I knew.
Right.
So I didn't understand like the principles behind that. Roger's a little more respectful, a lot more. He might be a little crazy in his own right, but he's a lot more of a martial artist.
Very
You know
serious
what I'm
guy,
saying?
yeah.
But he's really not that serious. But he carries himself the way
He's a
a sensei does.
Yes.
The way
That's what I mean though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's a very like he commands respect in the room. Like
Yeah,
he's not
exactly.
a type of person that you can like just
But
say
the
some
thing
dumb
is,
shit
but it's
around,
crazy
you know?
because he doesn't really even command it. He just gets it because of the way he carries himself. It's
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
But Scotty's like demanding and very brash. He's
Oh,
very
okay,
brash.
okay.
So he was like I was like, that kid got no hands. He's got no hands. And Roger snapped him. He's like, the kid does have hands. He does have legs. Watch you, Sam will slap the shit out of you. He said it to me.
Damn.
He said it to me, and I was like, oh, okay. And then Scotty warned me, and Scotty like, yo, calm down, because like he's really about that. Like my coach, Roger's really about that. Roger will slap the shit out of you. Like he's been like a father figure to me, and like he's put me in my place plenty of times, including before I really knew him like that.
Yeah.
So after a long time, that was the day I met Roger, and like we were cool because Roger can get mad at you one moment, but he's a very forgiving person. Like if you come correct to him, like he's reasonable. Like he don't hold grudges because you made one mistake.
Right.
If you make a mistake and you acknowledge it, he's gonna respect it. And I feel like that's how everyone should be.
That's
you
a
know?
real, that's
to
a
a
real
degree,
dude.
depending how bad it is.
Right.
Right. Obviously. But in this case, I don't know any better. I'm a 17-year-old kid. I'm just talking shit because my
Trying
coach
to help
is
your
talking
teammate
shit.
out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Bit, yeah.
Like I'm trying to fire him up and do something. I don't know about cornering. This was like one of my first experiences cornering. I was a kid, right? So
but it explains so much why you're so good. Like how you were saying how you're so good at coaching because you started so like just off the bat.
Yeah,
you
17, right?
17
coaching,
early.
so.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
That's
Sorry,
good.
go ahead.
No, of course. Don't be sorry. It's good. But yeah, so that was my first time, and then I had a falling out with Scotty over like some girl he hired in the after school, and like he kind of left me high and dry. Cause Scotty might have had a good heart, but he's a little fucking crazy. So I don't take it personally when he burned me a little bit, because he's done that to a lot of people. But I don't give a fuck.
Well, he kicked you out?
He didn't kick me out. I left because he fucking cut my pay and like did some shit with a job that I had before.
Some grimy shit, yeah.
It was kind of grimy, but he's just kind of crazy, so I don't take it personal. Even if he might seem like an asshole to other people, I've known him long enough to I just don't take it personal.
Right.
So after that, I was gym shopping, and I went to Rock MMA at the time, which was now Round 5 MMA. Well, Rock MMA still exists, but it was Carl Ranieri and Cesar Surge that were the coaches, and Miguel Baeza was there. And Miguel was like my coach for like 6 months. Miguel and like these guys, and he was just turning pro and shit. So I was hanging out with those guys for a while, but the drive was super far. I was living in Plantation, driving all the way to Pembroke Pines, and it was a lot. It was a lot for me, and I learned a bit, but I felt like I was a striker. I just didn't like the way their games were rounded. And they were good people, good camaraderie, good friends. I like them a lot. I actually am friends with a lot of them still, including Coach Caesar and whatnot. But then I went to Rogers to try it because I was shopping around, right? And I went in there first before like I actually went to try it. I went to talk to them, and I was kind of nervous because I knew they had really good striking because I saw the kids. That was what really made me want to go, the kids. I watch these kids, I'm like, damn, like, if these kids are good, like, how are these adults?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I went in there, and I knew Roger had a lot of experience cornering all these pro guys because I seen his shows. Like, at the Hard Rock, they had another show, an AFC, which is like American Top Teams pro show, like a local show they used to do. And it was a big show. Like Masvidal fought for them, Mike Brown fought for them. Like they didn't fight when I went to the show, but like they're known for having like really big names on their cards. Colby Covington fought there. I think Colby fought on the one card I went before he went to the UFC, or the one card I went to before he went to the UFC. That was his last fight.
Oh, you saw his last.
Isn't that where
regional fight?
Jorge fought Palomino?
Yes,
same,
AFC.
yeah.
It wasn't the same venue, but it was the same promotion.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Roger used to do all the matchmaking for it, and he was a coach. And Taylor, his son, fought on that card and stuff too. So I was intrigued. I was like, damn, like this guy knows something. And I went in there to talk to him, and I was afraid he was gonna not like me because I ran my fucking mouth at that event. And he was super welcoming. He was super cool. And he's like, come in any day to try it. My dumb ass, my crazy ass, because I was taught to fight. When I spar, Scotty used to beat the shit. He was a super juiced up short guy, but I was a small, unathletic kid, but I was tough, right? He beat the shit out of me. Like we used to do like 5-5s, like weekly, like 3 times a week. And he used to beat me to a pulp, bro. I'm talking like crawling around my house, beat the shit out of me. So I was tough, and I only knew one speed because Scotty used to fuck people up. Like, go hard with everybody. He would tell me to our guests, yo, fuck him up, make him not want to come back. Everybody.
Damn.
Like, it was no learning how to train. I only knew one speed, so a lot of people didn't like training with me.
Yeah.
So, but that
You were
wasn't my
that
fault.
guy.
I didn't know.
You were that guy. You were that guy that came in the gym.
But I thank him because he taught me how to work hard, and he taught me how to be tough as fuck. Like, he taught me I might be able to give ass whooping sometimes, but I can fucking take ass whooping. You know what I mean? That's fine. That's part of the sport, right?
Yeah, you got to learn how to be the nail, too.
Yeah. So my first day at Sunrise, I went to sparring day.
Oh,
Saturday.
shit.
My first ever day sparring.
Saturdays at Sunrise.
But Saturdays at Sunrise are not what they are now. They were way harder.
It was
we
harder?
had a lot more pros.
They're hard now. Damn.
We had more athletic guys in there. It was a lot more old school where there was like no liabilities. Like we would beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah.
And I remember there was no water fountain, so I didn't know that. So my first round, I went with Kenley. Kenley was the first person I ever sparred at Sunrise. He had just started training at Sunrise for 3 months after coming from Popovich's gym in I forgot where that was. I think it was Pines.
Yeah.
He moved to Abu Dhabi, really good black belt.
Yeah.
But Kenley was a blue belt, and he started training there, and I was sparring with Kenley, and we went to war. And then after that, I don't know if you guys know Bruce. You know Bruce?
Yeah.
Bruce was my second round.
What's it called?
Watch me deal.
What's
the
his
Kyosho gang.
What's his fake black belt?
Yeah.
That motherfucker's funny.
But this
yo.
was back when he was like training. Like Bruce was my standard for years because Bruce was like the man.
He's
was
underrated because I
but
don't think he takes it
if
seriously.
if he would have done things a little differently and been more disciplined and done the practices that he didn't want to do and worked harder, I have no doubt he could have been a world champion.
Really?
Or his mind was like his worst enemy. Like, he went through a lot of shit in his life, so he didn't have a lot of opportunities, and a lot of things like went south for him and stuff. But he was a really talented dude. And back then he had just come back from Trinidad. He was like basically on the cusp of the UFC. He only needed like two more wins. And he was a dog. He was training every day. He was a workhorse. And I remember sparring him, and he didn't know me, but he knew Scotty. These guys all knew Scotty, like the old school guys. And I hit him with a spinning back kick, super fucking hard, because I didn't pull anything. I was when I sparred, I would fight, and he beat the dog shit out of me, bro.
After that?
He put me on the wall and hit me more times than I've ever been hitting around.
With that pressure,
bro, he beat my ass. But back then it was a little
volume.
different. He wasn't on that Diaz volume shit.
Yeah.
He would throw more power and kicks and
He's
like
got
he would,
bricks for hands.
it was
too,
different.
bro.
Nah, he didn't have crazy power, but he would hit me a lot, and he would sit a little more on them. They weren't like crazy like knockout power punches, but they were way harder than what he would hit now.
No,
and he was a lot bigger. Bruce used to walk around like 175, 180. He was a 55er.
Yeah.
He was way bigger when he would like train a lot, and he beat the shit out of me. I remember fucking throwing up and drinking water out the sink because there was no water.
Shit, he made me throw up my first time sparring.
I would say he hit me
sparring
really
at
hard.
ATT.
Not too
bro.
long ago.
or MMA Science now, but back then was Sunrise.
But after that day, that was the day I was like, okay, this is where I'm gonna be at. And ever since then, like I've been in and out. Like I remember I kind of outgrew the amateur team. I started training the American top team in Coconut Creek when I was an amateur.
Oh wow.
And yeah, that's where I started.
Everyone that's my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'll say everyone that's been here that like we always hear the stories, and then for some way somehow it always gravitates towards American top team.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, everyone and their mama went to at one point.
That's a lot of this shit started from.
A lot of people went
would
to
say.
American top team.
Well, it was like the OG pro team of MMA. Like, you got to think about like what other pro teams were there when ATT came out in 2005. How many were there? You had like Milicic's fight team. Alpha Male didn't even come out till like the late 2000s. Like you know what I mean? Like like what big super teams were there?
The Las Vegas ones.
Not even Extreme Couture was getting there, but like Extreme Couture was new. Randy was still fighting.
Was it Lions?
Lions Den, like those little teams, like are the teams, but like ATT.
But we
was
had like Black Zillions at the time.
Black Zillions came after. Black Zillions came from ATT.
They stemmed
guys.
from ATT.
Yeah, all those guys that started Black Zillions were ATT.
So
guys.
ATT is like the world's first.
Not the world's first, but one of like the first major teams. Like it was a big team, so a lot of guys trickled out of that and did their own shit. But like I would go there because Roger was still coaching people at the time. He was coaching Amanda. He was coaching Daniel Strauss. He was coaching all type of people. Attila Vey, who was a former Bellator champion. He was cornering a lot of high level guys. And I would go there for pro practice because obviously once you start to outgrow where you're at, you got to find better guys to challenge yourself, you know? So I started there. I didn't really like the vibe, so I started watching Anatomy of a Fighter. I started watching Anatomy of a Fighter with Will Harris. I liked the vibe of Hard Knocks 365, the way Henry would talk, the way they would spar, the way the room was smaller, the way that like it looked more like a brotherhood. Then I started going over there. I really liked it over there. Eventually that turned to Sanford MMA, and then eventually went to Killcliff. So yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah,
That's a lot. That's a lot going on. And like, so how long was that span for? You started at 18, and then you ended up at Killcliff at what age? Well, recently you were still there, you know?
Well, I ended up at ATT. I turned pro at 21. I ended up at ATT when I was about, I want to say, about 20, when I just turned 20. Because I trained for like, so I had lost an amateur fight, and I was 3-4 at one point. I wasn't a great amateur.
Fuck.
Because I was that one amateur that had really good stand-up, but I would get laid on. Like, I had no grappling. I didn't want to train grappling.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to do the shit I didn't want to do.
Okay.
But that's what amateurs are for, right? That's why I was always telling you guys, go fight everybody. You know what I mean? Just because you're not a great amateur doesn't mean shit. You need experience. You need to know what it's like to get hit hard. You need to know what it's like to get taken down. You need to know what it's like to fight on the ground. You need to know what it's like to get in exchanges. You need to know what it's like to feel tired. Like back when we were amateurs, we fought everybody. Guys would fly in, yes.
Yeah.
Now these guys are all protecting each other like they're getting paid.
Yeah.
They gotta understand that. I feel like it's important. Yes, you got to build your confidence. Yes, you're not getting paid, so you don't want to take extensive damage, but you need to still challenge yourself. That way you build the experience and you develop properly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
what's the point of fighting if you're gonna bully people, right? I'm not saying go fight a guy that's a world beater that has so much more experience than you that he's gonna fucking hurt you.
Yeah.
But go with a guy around your level.
Yeah.
The likelihood of you getting hurt at that level is not that high.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean? Like injured, you might take some damage, but that's fighting. That's
You
what it is.
You're not gonna not get hit ever.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? It's a fight.
So I lost the amateur fight. I lost to Devin Dorsey, actually.
Oh,
Devin
shit.
Dorsey, a split decision. And, like, I beat the shit out of him, and I lost a split. I feel like I definitely got robbed. But my lack of grappling made that shit too close. And I actually thank him for that now. Every time I see him, I thank him for it, and we're cool as fuck now.
Yeah.
But back then, I remember I was so obsessed about it. I would always call him out. I would always be like pissed about it. But after I lost that fight, I trained for like a year straight. I took a bunch of time off. I started wrestling. I started training ATT. Then I had my last amateur fight, and I clean swept the dude like quick as fuck. Within like a minute and a half, I knocked him out.
Nice.
And then I turned pro for Bellator, my first pro fight at 21 years old. It was November 19th of 2016 or 17.
Okay.
And then yeah, from there on, the rest is history from that.
Fuck.
But yeah, after like 3 pro fights, then I went to that's when I went to Hard Knocks and started training over
You
there.
fought at Bellator, your first pro
Yeah,
fight.
the NASCAR Speedway. I actually fought in the same card as Waggy. Waggy fought in that card.
Oh,
as well.
shit.
Snap.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. That's rare for your first fight on such a big promotion.
Yeah, I fought Bellator and Titan FC my whole career, so I fought in pretty good shows. You know,
Damn.
the whole time.
How big was Bellator back then? I'm pretty sure they were.
I mean, Bellator was lit, but this wasn't like a Showtime or Spike TV card. This was like a card that wasn't televised. It was on they used to do what's called the NASCAR Energy Series, which was kind of like the Contender Series for Bellator. If they liked you, they would sign you. But Bellator would push debut guys sometimes if you had enough push, right? So this was like at the NASCAR Speedway.
Oh,
and
shit.
bro, it was in the hot sun, no canopy,
outside,
bro.
What? Yeah,
Speedway.
those used to do that
at
shit,
11
yeah.
at 11 a.m. bro.
What?
Hot as a bitch, bro.
That's wild. I don't know why they did that.
I had the worst weight cut. I didn't know how to rehydrate properly. I fucking felt terrible. The canvas was burning my feet.
Yeah.
I was
What?
exhausted. I couldn't feel my legs after the first round. It was terrible,
Yeah.
bro. It was so terrible.
I don't know why, because it could start raining. Like the weather
Nah,
could
there's
seriously.
no way it was raining.
I know it's
scorching this day. Not
but
a
I'm
chance,
saying, like
but it could.
like the weather, like it's just Florida. Like the weather could, change
Change
randomly,
up, yeah,
like,
yeah.
but the fact that they would do that outside and it's hot as fuck, it's like, bro, what are you doing? But
Yeah.
they like that back in the day, they didn't really give a shit. Man, so what happened? You have your first few pro fights, and then it was going good for you, right? So what made you said you watched Anatomy of a Fight, but was there something that happened at American Top Team that made you want to leave? Because there's so many people, I'm assuming, right? It's just like everyone was there.
I mean, one thing I've learned, because I've been to the big gyms now. Like as I told you, I'm doing the old small gym thing now.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you before this podcast, is like I feel like one thing I learned is that like if you don't like the people you're around and you're not in a family environment and you don't have that martial arts camaraderie, this shit fucking sucks. I don't care who you are. I know this is an individual sport. Get your work, get out, whatever. Like you can think however you want. But in all reality, energy is contagious, bro. And if you're in a room with people that are bitter, if you're in a room with people that are like out there to hurt you, if you're in a room with people that are over there to get over on you or using you for something, like that doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't make you feel like you want to get up and go to work. You know what I mean? Like I love training. I love to train. I love to work on my craft. I love fighting. I love competing. I love what I do. But if I get up in the morning and I'm dreading going to work, that's a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? I feel like at ATT it was like they have a great system. They have great training partners. They have a great high level room. They have great hard practices. But the way the room is, it's very cliquey. You know what I mean? The coaches don't really give a shit about you. They talk shit about. I felt like they were talking shit about people in the fighters meetings. They were talking shit about me in the fighters meetings.
Oh, shit,
they had falling outs with my coach. It's not really. It's kind of beyond me, you know what I mean? It's not about me. It's just the vibe and energy of the place didn't suit me and my personality. You know what I mean? So I feel like that was kind of like why I felt like I needed to take myself out of it. It's no disrespect to anybody. No one really did anything to me specifically. It's just the way things move. Like when you're sparring, dudes are trying to hurt you all the time. You're grappling, dudes are trying to crank your shit. Your injury chance is a lot higher. You know what I mean? Like you don't feel like it's a team environment. People aren't there people are in there fighting every day. They're not over here training every day. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like me, like where it's like I'm scared to compete hard in practice or anything, because I know I can fucking fight. Like I've been in dog fights. I've been hit hard. I've been dropped. You know what I mean? I've probably been partially concussed. I've been fucking injured pretty bad. You know what I mean? Like I've been through these things and I know what I'm capable of. And I feel like at this point in my career, I understand what I need to do to hit that next level. And I feel like that place wasn't it. You know?
Yeah. You don't need to fucking have a war every single day in training for sure. Like
not.
there's no, it's those, you need those days, but I think 90% of the time it's not necessary. Like
for sure.
Especially if you're just starting off in your career, there's no point. There's no benefit to that other than knowing you're tough.
Yeah.
And you're fighting anyway. You're
but
tough,
at that time, it was good for me though, because obviously being a young kid, 20 years old, going in that room full of dogs and seeing all these UFC fighters, not only is it humbling, it also teaches you that like these guys are human. You know what I mean? Like for these guys that haven't been in those big ponds and those fucking with those room full of animals, they don't understand how human these people are. When you see these guys train every day that are like watching GP and watching like Colby and watching Masvidal and watching all these guys and see even at Killcliff watching Gilbert, watching Jason Jackson, watching all these awesome fighters, you realize how human they are and that they're no different from you. You know what I mean? So that psyche of thinking this guy's a god and they have that god invincible complex, that goes away. So now that I know I don't have that, it's a lot easier to move forward with the way I'm doing things now. You know what I mean? Because I understand that I'm capable of being there, and I'm understand I'm capable of doing big things as well. You know?
Okay. Okay. No, that's awesome, man. So then, what do you think in your experience that changed your mindset? Not necessarily change your mindset, but I don't know how other way to put it, but like change your mindset to like seriously tone in on like your energy that you have now. Because I know that you said you've bounced around different gyms and then you found where you're at now at MMA Science with Roger Carl, who's always been your coach for the most of your career, kind of since after that tournament you've been in. But what changed in your energy?
I feel like a big thing, I wouldn't say it's a change of energy. My energy hasn't changed too much. I feel like I've become a little more docile. Like, I don't want to be at all the fight events. I don't want to talk to promoters. I don't want to make friends in this shit. I want to stick to my circle that I know cares about me, that is going to be with me win, lose, or draw. Because this fight game is fucking brutal, and it's cutthroat, and it's painful, and it will suck the life out of you if you don't fucking take the right precautions or around the right people. Because there's going to be moments, regardless of how good you are, where you're going to fall, and you're not going to feel good, and you're going to be in dark spots, and you need those right people around you to lift you up, you know? I feel like a big reason that I went to start doing what I was doing now and started going with the small gym vibe was The Ultimate Fighter. I feel like The Ultimate Fighter was huge. Watching the way the most successful fighter in the history of sport carries himself, how he is with his people, how he trains on the regular, you know what I mean? How he doesn't really let outsiders into his circle. That kind of like showed me a little bit of what you can do, you know what I mean? Because, Connor's rich as fuck now, right? Yeah. Connor's rich as fuck. He does whatever the fuck he wants. He kind of he still trains like a madman, believe it or not. Yeah. But he kind of does shit in his own terms. He wants to train at 10 o'clock at night. He's going to train at 10 o'clock at night. He does whatever he wants. He's not in the routine that I feel you should be, but, like, he doesn't fucking have to be. Yeah. He's rich as fuck. He does what he wants to do. And he can enjoy the fight game the way he wants to from now on, right? But I saw the way, like, where he came from. You know what I mean? Like, this guy came from a shack in Dublin. Like, people, like, see SBG now as this big, awesome gym. This was a fucking small space that he would come in with, like, 2 or 3 partners every day. Yeah. You know what I mean? I met Lee Hammond, who's actually fighting tonight on Combate. Ireland. Yeah, I got to watch that after this. But you got him. You got guys like him and stuff that have been with Connor since day one. He's been training with Connor since he was 13 years old. Oh, shit. Like, he would go in and roll with Connor at 13 years old when Connor was, like, 20 years old. And they would just train together because that's all he had to train with. It's not like he had a whole big-ass room and a whole bunch of killers. You know what I mean? He had great coaching. He had good energy. He had good people, and look how far that took him. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like seeing that and seeing the way he pays his people, seeing the way he provides them jobs. Like, he has his boy Dave, his photographer, redhead dude, and his job is literally to just take pictures of Connor. He lives nice just to be with Connor and take pictures. Like, I know he's a good photographer. Job, baby. Yeah, I know he's a damn good photographer and he could get work anywhere else. Yeah. But the fact that his boy goes out of his way to provide him with a job to do that, that's fucking awesome, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he helps his people come up.
He stays with his
He's sponsoring these fights for Combate, and his main boys, Kian and Lee, are on the card. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is everything. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's so satisfying when you see people that have been with you from the beginning. Not because you're a potential or like you're gonna be a superstar because you have a name, because they've been with you from the beginning. Because Roger's been with me, been my guy since I was 17 years old, 18 years old, where I didn't know shit. I didn't know I was gonna get this far. I wasn't even a pro yet. I maybe had 2 amateur fights when I went to him. I had 2. I was 1-1. You know what I mean? It was like I wasn't shit. You know what I mean? Like, now I'm getting in the UFC, and like we have a more personal relationship. And regardless of me being in the UFC, I know that I'll always have him in my corner. Right. Whether I end up not making it to the UFC champion, I decide to open up my own school, or I decide to quit and be a coach for him, or I quit and decide to do business with him. Like, I got these people that I know are gonna be with me through the highs and through the lows, and I feel like that's the most important. These big gyms, the bigger they are, the more of a business they become. Facts. And ATT's like that, and Killcliff has become like that, I feel. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're not bad people. They have great energy in the room, and it works for some people. But with the way my personality is and the way I approach things now after going through that experience, I feel like I kind of understand now what works for me, and I feel like I want to go approach it like that, you know? Yeah. I don't need crazy high-level bodies all the time. I need guys that are good enough and competent enough to drill that I don't have to teach through the practice, and a couple sparring partners to help push me through my training camp. You don't need guys that are in there that are fucking top 10 in the UFC trying to beat your ass and compete because the coaches are watching all the time. You don't need that. You know what I mean? Will you be surprised you train with regular guys and then you go go fight, you can go fuck those guys up. Promise you. Because your reactions are on point, your technique is on point, you've worked on the things you need to work on, and your confidence is on point because the things you're doing in practice are working. And when they're working, it's like, for example, like Gordon Ryan, when he trains jiu-jitsu, he doesn't fucking go roll black belts. He taps 1 million blue belts. He lets the blue belts get him in full rear naked chokes, full triangles, and he works on things and he tries them. So then when he's done them so many times correctly that when he goes on a high-level guy, there's no mistakes.
And he makes it look easy.
Exactly. So I feel like that approach to my training has really made a difference. I'm a lot happier. I'm a lot more at peace. And I'm just ready to make a run now.
Sober living too, right?
Let's go, living too. But I mean, to be real, I'm all about balance. You know what I mean?
I say sober living, but balanced living.
Acid for fun.
No, I don't really do psychedelics or fuck with that shit no more that much. But not because I'm against it or anything. It's just
cocaine.
I just don't. I ain't doing no
little heroin here and there,
like that.
Black tar heroin.
No, fuck that. Nah, I'm good on that shit. I'd rather just drink with the homies here and there. You know what I mean? Like
for real.
Smoke a little weed,
just chill out. You know what I mean? At this point, at least for I don't know where life will take me, but I'm not gonna be doing drugs like that. To be real, I feel like what's
good for you.
When you get to the level I'm at now, I feel like I'm obviously just getting in the UFC and I'm still a baby. Just because I'm in the UFC does not mean I'm rich. Does not mean I've cemented a legacy. It does not mean I've made it. But when you get to this point, everyone is good, right? Everyone in the UFC is the best in their region. Everyone is hungry as fuck. A lot of guys come from nothing like me. You got to have something that separates you. And every little thing that you cut out and every little thing that you do is what's going to make you better and what's going to put you above those guys so you can keep getting the dubs, you know? So
100%.
I feel like I'm still 0-1 in the UFC. You know, obviously, I know you guys are having me on here. It's not like I'm some fucking top 5 guy yet or anything like that. And I'm still 0-1. And a loss is a loss. I know I had a banger-ass fight.
Hey, bro.
But it's still an L. So right now, my back's against the wall. So I'm not cutting no corners right now to come and get this win come February 3rd. So,
hey, man, let's go, bro. We're rooting for you. And that's one thing I think that separates you from a lot of people is your passion. I know a lot of people say that they're passionate and they really like, oh, I'm really about this shit. But it's like, you really are. And you're saying 17 years old, this is your bread and butter. You've done this. You're pretty much your entire adult life. You've coached us. You've coached so many people down here. Jimmy's one of those guys. I know he's not fighting now, but like Jimmy Washington, if you guys look him up, he's like one of the best natural fighters I've ever seen in my life. And a lot of that comes from you. Obviously himself too, but a lot, like 80% of that was you.
I wouldn't even say 80, but I gave him the path.
You gave him the path.
I've given him the path, and the path is still there if he decides to stop fucking around and get it.
Yeah, right? I mean that's not what I'm trying to get at.
You definitely gave me my kickboxing, that's for sure.
JJ was a boxer. You know, he came in. I was an MMA guy. You kind of like humbled me in the sense of like I wouldn't say I was cocky, but I felt I always had a chip on my shoulder, and you were like,
I know a little more than I do.
Yeah. You were like, hey, bro, like I don't give a fuck. Because honestly, me and you have been training more or less the same amount of time. I just never hit that breach of like level. You know what I mean? I think I've been training a really long time, but the one thing I think it's in my head, I've just never allowed myself to believe that I'm as really like, hey, you can do this. I know I can do this, but it's like I don't know, mentally I'm just like, hey, I just never took that next level step. But even though we were always talking, you're like, hey, bro, I don't care how long you've been training. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I'm just like, man.
But to be real, bro, my thing is I've been very fucking spoiled. You know what I mean? Not everyone, like I might not have had opportunities in life so much, like I'm saying, but I've had a lot of great opportunities for coaches. I've had a wealth of awesome coaches and awesome examples and awesome mentors in the fight game, from training with guys that were Bellator champion at the time, Daniel Strauss, from training. My first wrestling practice at ATT, my partner was Brad Pickett. I don't know if you guys know Brad Pickett is One Punch Pickett, who's coaching like Nathaniel Wood and those guys. Like he was my first partner. I've sparred with Hedon Barao, like I've sparred with Enrique Barzola. I've trained with so many high level guys. You know what I mean? And I've been around so many high level guys. So even though I haven't been really taught by them, I've seen so many things and I've taken so many things. You know, I've had a lot of looks. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like even though you might have been training as long as me, the looks might be different. You know what I mean? So,
no, but it's similar. I've had like high-level guys. Like my first gym I ever trained at was with Shorty Torres. I know you don't like the niggas too much. But
I don't got no problem with it, man. I've grown up a lot, and I feel like, you know, like everyone has their journey, everyone has their path. In reality, that's another lesson I had. You know what I mean? Not everyone in this game is your friend, bro.
Of course.
And I don't hate Shorty or dislike Shorty anymore. Now I'm just cool with him. Like he does what he does. You know what I mean? I see him. Hey, what's up? How are you? But my thing is, like I told you, I want to stay in my circle.
Of course.
I want to keep my friends to my friends. Because like I said, that's an example. These guys that are nice to you and act like they're following you and act like they're your fans and act like they like you. all these this business is very cutthroat.
It's cutthroat,
and so many of these guys are just waiting for you to fucking misstep so they can take your spot or laugh at you while you're down, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily laughing at me while I'm down, but I'm just saying like that's just how this game works.
I didn't want to take it there, but
but it's not even about him.
Yeah,
he's not doing that. I know he's not doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is like that's how a lot of people in this game are. So I'd rather just stick to my circle, and part of my growth has been forgiving people and not you don't want to hold hate in your heart. That's just added stress.
Translate
I've
well.
honestly even thought about deleting Instagram, bro, because like being in the UFC
tough,
now,
bro.
I get these people hating on me. Like the other day, I posed. Like, I don't know why it bothered me, but like Fight Wave, you saw I did an interview with Fight Wave.
Yeah.
So on the comments of my interview, some guys like he will never be champ. Like why the fuck?
You
Yeah,
can't
you
focus
feel
on
me?
that.
But if you go on their page, it's like some dork who doesn't even have a
It's a
picture
fake
of
account or
him.
some shit.
It's like some lame motherfucker.
But my thing is,
like
it's still, but for some reason, like, it
It
still
fucks with you?
irritated me. It
Yeah.
don't fuck with me because I know what it is. But in the moment, I was like,
bro, it fucks with
Man,
me.
come
I'm
on,
not
bro.
even.
Come
I'm not
on, bro.
even like. I'm not even.
Just get hot as fuck,
I'm
you
still,
know?
yeah, bro. Take it off. I'm no homo.
yo.
I'm not even a pro, and people hate on me, and it fucks with me. I'm like, bro. Even with the podcast, people be like, bro, your podcast ain't shit. I'm like, don't watch it then.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
fuck
But
you, bro.
I don't know, but anyway, with the Shorty, I was just saying, like, that was my first time ever walking into an MMA gym was with Shorty Torres and then Carlos Hernandez. He was in the UFC. He's a 125er, and
I was good though.
oddly
Guys your
eno-
size.
Yeah, and like they both recently took an L's, which is not a great example. But
But Shorty beat the guy that beat him just now.
exactly, yeah.
Like, how do you beat him though? Shorty looked a little fucked
the first
up in this
time,
one.
no, he lost. He lost.
I know,
it.
but he looked a little fucked up this fight. He just lost.
He lost by technically TKO.
Oh, he got TKO.
He like because he couldn't. His eye was fucked up. He couldn't
his
see.
doctor stopped.
I think he stopped it himself.
Oh,
He
really?
was like, I can't see. He's like, there's no point of this. Like, I'm fucked. So I don't know.
You gotta keep fighting,
bro.
bro.
His eye was fucked up.
I
Like,
mean, I've seen Shorty fucked up. That's
Yeah.
one thing I will say though. Shorty's tough.
He's
as
a
fuck.
dog, bro.
His
Like-
fights on Titan were some of the best fights I've ever
bro,
seen.
it's crazy, and he's such a small guy. And I'd say the first time I met Shorty, I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
Because he was in the UFC at the time. I had no idea who he was. I go into the gym, first day was sparring, and I'm just like, I look at him. I've never fought in my life.
whooped
I
your
mean,
ass.
I've been in street fights, but like,
He whooped your ass.
oh, bro, he whooped the fuck out of me. He threw me. Like, he literally, I'm like, I looked at him. I was like, I'll go with him. My homie D Williams, shout out D Williams. He was my friend since middle school wrestling days. He's like, hey, bro, be careful of him. And I was like, come on, bro. I'm gonna get this
right.
midget, bro. I'm like, bro, he
Whoop your
cracked me, fucking judo tossed me, bro, and just started whooping my ass but he humbled me. And then I went through the ranks, but then I started, there was a gym called Combat Do. That was my brothers.
Yeah, I met the coach there. Old dude was his
Master
name?
Bob,
Master
Bob
yeah,
Sherman, bro.
very
He's
cool.
a fucking legend. He's fought, bro. He never like got to any like crazy high level, but he has fought all the
Don't matter, bro.
Gracie's.
Look at Matt Hume, DJ's
yeah, bro.
coach.
Like, yeah, he's bro, and he's crazy. Like, he's a recon Marine, but so
He's a real man.
yeah, he's a real man.
dude,
Like,
real
legit. And then COVID kind of fucked up everything for that gym, so it died after that. But after that, I know my journey. I moved on. I went to Arizona where I trained at Soul Fighters with Taquino Mendez. He's ADCC world champion multiple time. Sean O'Malley's jiu-jitsu coach. I trained.
Oh, you
with
trained
Tim.
the lab, right? You trained the
No,
lab.
I never
also.
went to the lab, but I trained at Soul Fighters, and I actually trained with Sean O'Malley
And Tim Welch, right?
Yeah, Tim Welch.
How was he when you trained with him? Was he nasty?
O'Malley? Yeah, I actually did jiu-jitsu with him. He's really good. He's actually a very good grappler. I would say his grappling is better than his striking. And you
Really?
don't back then.
I don't know about now. That boy's slick.
Bro,
nowadays
like
with the
he's
hands, boy.
O'Malley's legit.
I don't know how
O'Malley's
this fight with
legit.
Cheeto's gonna go, man.
I think he knocks him out.
You think he knocks Cheeto out?
No.
Or TKOs.
Really?
I don't know about that.
My thing is like
I
when
don't know,
someone
man.
knocks you out like that, like he talks like that's a fluke, bro.
No,
fucked him
Cheeto
up.
really like he
Cheeto
fucked up his
fucked him
leg.
up.
I think it's more even than
I look at-
Cheeto's really
He
good,
elbowed
man.
his face off.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But I look at what Sanhagen did to Cheeto, and I think like O'Malley, they kind of have the same sort of style.
He doesn't throw as much volume as Corey.
Bro.
But he's more powerful than
It's
Corey.
a similar
Yeah,
look.
but Cheeto, I don't know, man. I think that's just such a
Cheeto
mental
takes a
edge.
while
that
to
dude
get
knocked you
going.
out.
Yeah.
That dude knocked you out.
Yeah.
That
Cheeto-
dude
hurt
fucked
him.
you up.
Yeah.
Cheeto takes a while to get going.
He
but
doesn't get going though.
Yeah,
the problem with
he-
Cheeto waits.
Yeah.
Cheeto's a
Too
wait
long.
for one shot guy.
He waits way too long, but when he gets going, he gets going.
But he has
So
great
has to-
timing.
I don't know how that fight goes, but I'm just saying O'Malley is legit from what I've seen from him. I was surprised that O'Malley, like everyone looks bigger on TV, but when you stand next to him,
He's tiny.
he's not a very large guy.
No.
Like I'm 5'5", and it says he's 5'11". I don't
Well,
really
you think
he's
Ronnie looks
5'11".
big?
Ronnie the Heat? On TV, he looks a lot
But
bigger.
I'm saying
Yeah.
in person, does he look big?
No, not in person.
Everyone looks bigger on TV.
Yeah, but I mean, like, O'Malley looks so much longer in person, like in on TV and like taller. And I'm 5'5". He's not 5'11".
I feel like
it
that
says he's
happens to
5'11".
me. Like,
I don't think he's
sometimes
5'11" at all.
I feel like sometimes I'd be watching myself on TV. And I'm
You
like,
look
damn,
massive.
I'm
I'm
bigger
like,
than I thought I was.
it's
Nah,
crazy.
for real, because I feel like at 55, I always felt because I moved up, I wasn't that physical. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm a small 55er. And then like I fought Nasra, I'm like, I'm stronger than
It's
this guy.
good. Like,
I'm like
bro.
stronger than this guy. And
Yeah,
then
it's crazy,
I
like-
fought who else did I fight that? Like Yemi. Yemi fought at 170, and he was coming down to
Shit.
55 to fight me for the first time when I fought in that Titan FC defense.
Bro.
And I saw him at the weigh-ins. I'm like, this nigga's big as
the one
fuck.
we went to,
The
right?
black dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this boy Yemi's big as fuck.
Yeah.
Like this guy's a 70 coming down to fight me, and then I got in the cage with him. I'm like, damn, he's
This
not
motherfucker's
that
not that
at
big.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but it's so weird because my thing is I feel like the weight cut makes everybody the same size. Like if you could be a weight bully and you could be physical, but that weight cut, bro, you are all the same
Everyone
size. You
cuts weight. It's
If you're big for a 55er, when
Yeah.
that weight is made, you are taking away that physicality that you have
think?
when you're
Yeah.
heavy. Yep.
Yeah. For
I was
sure.
talking to Troy about this. Like Troy's my coach now, obviously. Troy Worthen,
Yeah.
and he was saying like he wants to fight at 45 now after his contract with one championship's over because he feels like at 35 he's like. Because, bro, Troy's strong as fuck. Like,
He's
sometimes
so fucking good,
Like, bro,
man.
sometimes I go with Troy. Yeah, he's really skilled, but, like, and he
What do you
fucks
think
me
the
up with
problem
the skills.
is with him?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, this motherfucker's strong as a bitch. Like, he's so strong. And, like, sometimes he be ragging me, and I'm a 55er.
Yeah.
He's, like, a fucking strong motherfucker. You walk around, like, 164. And, like, he talking about going to 45 because he feels when he goes fights at 35, he loses that physicality. It's like, why is he fucking lifting 55ers off the floor like me and other guys like John and shit? And then when he fights at 35, he can't lift a 35er.
But do you think if he
Doesn't make
has that
sense.
extra weight in the cage, does it translate? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, because you're
Yeah.
not draining, you're not taking away that muscle. When you cut weight, you lose muscle.
But I'm saying when you feel, because if you're fighting at 145, he's not used to having that. But maybe
well, it's still a cut.
Has he fought at
Yeah, he's fought
145?
at 45.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
but I'm
says he
saying it's
feels
like it's a
better.
large cut of 35. He's lean. You know what I mean? Like you carry, if you have more water in you and you don't lose all that muscle, like the physicality is gonna transfer. You might be
Right.
a little shorter, right? But you're still gonna be fucking stronger. And
Look
you're
at
gonna be more,
Volk, yeah.
and you're gonna be way more durable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Volk's is definitely like walking into the 160s. But I'm saying is like
he's short as
maybe
fuck, though.
170 when he's a little like heavy. But I'm
Yeah.
saying is like that physicality is there, your durability is there. Like I feel like when I fought my first fight at 55 was during COVID. I fought this guy Geraldo Castillo. I don't know if I showed you this fight.
Oh, it was
This
on
Cuban
Titan, right?
kid, yeah, it's Cuban.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no fans. This Cuban
That
kid
was
dropped
in
me.
Dominican, yeah?
No, it was here. It
Oh,
was in
shit.
Miami.
Okay.
This kid dropped me with an overhand right, and I swear to God, bro, if I wasn't at 55 for that fight, if I was at 45, probably would have slept me.
Really?
Yep. I feel like you
that bad, yeah.
when you cut a lot
That's
of weight, you don't recover. You're not durable.
A good example of that would be, I would say, from this weekend, Cody Garbrandt. He looks a lot thicker, like neck
He's fighting
wise.
35. Yeah, he
fought
looks
at
better.
35, and he could probably absorb more shots.
But
I don't know
he
about
got
that,
dropped
bro.
at
Boy got a
35.
chin, that boy got a chin problem regardless
Yeah,
of
true,
weight.
true,
He was
true.
getting knocked out at
35,
35 and
bro,
25. Like he's just
Like,
he
looking
was
better,
there.
though.
He's
He's looking better,
like
though,
thicker,
bro.
like you could tell he's worked on
Well,
putting
he had
on muscle.
He had a good matchup, bro. He had a
True,
good matchup.
true.
Keller
Boom,
is
boom.
a good
He's
fighter.
good, but he's not the same level.
He
as him,
ain't
though.
Cody Garbrandt.
No.
The speed difference was so big,
Crazy,
you know.
bro.
He's
Like I hate
so
that
fast.
Cody's calling out Davison. Like why? are you
Really? I
calling
think
out
that's a good
Davison?
fight for him.
Nah,
Really? 'Cause
I
that's
think
gonna
he should.
fast
I
track
think
him
he
to
should
the-
fight like 2 or 3 fights, make some money, make your money, like get some wins, and then see how
Really?
you're holding up and call somebody out.
Okay.
Why are you calling out a guy that was the champion like that? I know you want the title.
So
I know
yeah,
your
he's gonna
timeline isn't that long, but if you're active and you're fighting a couple easier fights, like get back on the track, get some
He's got
momentum.
some time, too.
Then you can
He's
call
still
guys
young.
out.
He's
He
like
fought-
33.
he's-
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's on
Not even
35
33.
winning
He has
streak.
32.
time.
Yeah,
He
he's
has
a lot of
time.
time. Yeah, but man, Cody Garbrandt. After watching a Cody Garbrandt fight, was like mentally was when I switched in my head. I'm like, all right, that's what I want to do. I don't know why. I was watching. He's just so
He's
fucking
fast. He's fast.
Like, he
The
beat up-
way
that
that boy was
like,
getting
I'm
low
like,
kick like a motherfucker. If I was the coach watching that, or I was his next opponent watching that, I'm kicking the shit out of his guys.
Yeah.
The way he fights, he moves in and out well, but
his calves were fucked after that.
yeah, he's
But,
Question. I was saying, because I was saying in the earlier podcast is like yeah, the calf kick has gotten more popular, but a lot of people don't know how to throw it correctly. Especially only
Yeah,
like
you guys.
specifically
Wolfpack.
people from down here are
Yeah.
the only ones who really know how to throw it. Like, because we were talking about the fights last night and how the girl, what's her name, Aldana?
Yeah.
she kept eating a lot of inside leg kicks.
They weren't even calf
Outside.
kicks.
Yeah,
But they
but
wouldn't do
if
it.
they were
Those-
calf kicks, she would have been fucked.
Would have
Yeah,
been a lot
for sure.
different. You can't eat as many, but like she was just walking straight forward, like with inside kicks, and people are like, "Oh, that's gonna affect her." Like it's not because
Yeah.
you can eat way more inside
I
leg
don't know. Them
kicks.
bitches do affect you. You get hit with enough. You been hit with enough?
Yeah, I mean, but not that many like her.
Like Aldo
She got hit with
versus
like 60 low kicks, bro.
Yeah.
yeah,
like,
Aldo
the
versus
inside.
She set a record for most low kicks landed in a women's bantamweight fight.
Really?
And Colby's leg was fucked too. You saw his leg.
Colby started checking them at least though.
Yeah.
His leg was fucked up from thigh kicks.
But by the end, it was like already kind of too late. He couldn't even push off his leg to like try to get a takedown. I feel
he
like
was fucked up.
Uriah Faber, that's what it was.
Yeah,
I was in lost and
the
found.
calf kicks though, like look at Pajeda. Pajeda throws them real nice too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like the calf kick is not a full hip turn kick. It's a
Right.
half. It's you just
You don't have to,
You half turn your hip. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're not loading and turning over like Muay Thai kicks. You turn your shoulders over completely. With calf kicks, is just a little pop. You know what I mean? You don't need that much power to fucking hurt someone's calf.
Right.
Because you're hitting the nerve over and over. It's accumulation.
You can kill someone's leg.
Yeah.
I remember, speaking of Troy, the last time I sparred with him, he kicked me in my calf.
Yeah, he got a good calf kick.
Really hard.
Troy calf kick. I was sparring him yesterday. He calf kicked me 3 times.
Bro, I couldn't walk. I was like, fuck.
I've checked a bunch of them because my opponent is a good calf kicker. You know what I mean? So I know how to defend calf kick. Obviously, we have a whole system for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Factory
MMA
X,
science, yeah.
Factory X as well also has a system for that shit. So they're good guys like Royval, those guys. Jonathan Martinez. Like
he's
all
probably
those guys,
the best. Yeah,
all those guys are really good low kickers. You know what I mean? So I know about that shit. But like, it's
Who's the guy you're fighting?
this guy Markel Maderos, Factory X guy.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he fought in Contender Series.
Oh,
he fought in Contender Series.
Is this his debut?
Yeah, his debut.
Okay.
And he also fought on Fury FC. So he's kind of come up through the regional scene, and now he won his fight. He had a really spectacular knee to the face against a guy on Contender Series.
Okay.
But wrestler.
Let's go.
He ain't never fought a striker. So.
And what about that one guy from the Ultimate Fighter, the one that you had beef with?
Oh, Roosevelt?
We fucking him up or what?
Roosevelt.
About money?
Huh?
About money?
About money.
The motherfucker with about money on his
Yeah,
shit?
Me and Ro.
I don't like that guy either.
Me and Ro don't got no beef. You know what I
No?
mean? I don't think we got no beef. I feel like our personalities definitely differ. I think now that I'm not trained at Killcliff and he's got signed to the UFC, I have a feeling I'm definitely gonna see his ass.
Yeah.
You know, if
I think he got cut
if I
again.
see his ass, I think it would definitely.
he didn't?
If I see his ass, it would definitely be right because we were talking shit. It'd be some fire ass buildup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't really dislike him. I don't know how much he dislikes me. I just don't really give a fuck about him to be real.
Yeah.
To be real, he ain't my boy.
Yeah.
But like we don't got no beef. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and talk shit and say
yeah.
shit that's not true because like we've talked. I've told him, hey, God bless your family, bro. I even asked him he even asked to come train with me when he was in town before he went to Killcliff before one point. And then when our episode came out, he ghosted me. So like, I don't know. He kind of like gave me like weird energy, like on both ways. Like one moment he kind of gave me the vibe that he's cool with me. The next moment he gave me the vibe he don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
He's never said anything bad about me at Killcliff because I got my homies that train there. So I ain't gonna sit here and go after him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I didn't know he was at
And to be
Killcliff.
real, me even
he's
now
now,
he's
yeah.
at Killcliff now because he moved back from Cali. And like even though me and him, our personalities may differ, I know that he's got a lot of people in Cali and people that he trained with that look up to him, kind of like the same way people look up to me in his gym.
Yep.
You know
Respect,
what I
but-
mean? He's actually from Broward as well.
Oh, is he?
He went to Miramar High School.
Oh, shit.
So it's like we're from the same place. We come from similar circumstances in a lot of ways. We're not the same person. You know, we've had different lives. But I'm saying is that we come from the same place. You feel
Broward
me?
County.
So yeah. So I know I have a respect for him. And he's a good ass fighter, to be real.
Yeah.
Because I remember when
he's
I was
good.
when I was on Tough, they did interviews for us, like the confessionals. But like you know, they have the lights behind you and shit.
Yeah.
So I did the confessionals, and they're asking who would you want to be matched up with first when they picked the teams, and he was the first name I said.
I remember that.
But not because he was the easy fight, because I felt like it'd be the most banger matchup.
Yeah.
Tough fight, you know what I mean? Good
Fireworks.
striker, you know what I mean? Like, but I definitely think it could happen in the future, but you know, we'll see what happens. You know,
Yeah.
I ain't worried about nobody except the name I got in front of me.
Right,
You know, what I mean,
It's the best
that's all
way.
you can do. Like all these guys, I don't know how the fuck these guys are over here
Sidetracking.
calling out guys and talking shit on Twitter when you got a guy in front of you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That to me shows me you don't respect the fight game because I don't give a fuck how good you are or whatever. Everybody who's in that octagon of the UFC or that you're fucking in front of you has a chance. That you're fighting in front of you has a
Puncher's
chance.
chance. Yeah, everything.
Dude,
Yeah.
Dude, like, I'm upset because I'm glad you got a fight, but I'm upset it's not on the Sean O'Malley card here.
Bro,
I
Yeah,
was-
why did they put you in Miami?
So I was like bugging for a fight, like, cause I'm like, bro, this shit, they ain't
Hometown.
get paid shit. I ain't
Yeah.
get paid shit last fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like from taxes and all that shit. Like I ain't get paid shit after paying your coaches and stuff. You know, it's a
Yeah.
lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just
Yeah.
you're in the UFC don't mean you making money. You're not making money till like the end of your first contract or your second contract.
Just
You know what I'm saying?
negotiate, yeah.
Yep.
So like my thing is I was bugging for a fight. So my manager sent me an opponent, but it wasn't him asking for me. They weren't asking for me. It was just an opponent that was available for this specific date. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll take it. Like we looked him up or like it wasn't like me. I went for him. Like his name came up and it was sent to all the 55ers from that my manager has on the roster on his roster and I jumped at it. You know what I mean? But if I would have maybe waited a couple weeks, maybe I could have got.
It wasn't. You didn't know. We didn't even know about the Miami thing.
I didn't know
like
Miami
recently,
wasn't even announced. You know what I'm saying? Like they were talking about whether February. I didn't even know February 3rd was. That wasn't even announced when I signed the contract. On my contract, it said to be determined. I didn't know if it was going to be in Mexico. I didn't know if it was going to be in Cali.
Right.
I didn't know it was going to be somewhere else.
I
had no idea. It's
How
in Vegas.
sweet
Apex fight, sadly.
How sweet would have been though, bro.
What I would like to do, I'm not saying I'm going to do this because like I said, I think I'm going to finish this dude, but obviously in a fight, I don't know how much damage I'm going to take. I don't know how hard it's going to be. I think I'm going to finish a dude. It could be hard. It might not be hard. I don't fucking know. But I would, in a perfect world, I'd like to knock this motherfucker out without taking any damage and call for a March 9th fight and get on the Miami card. Because if I would get on the Miami card, fuck a prelim, put me on the main card. I'll blow that bitch up.
I'm going, bro.
Promise you.
I'm telling you.
Kaseya Center, bro, get the fuck out of here.
I'm
you
talking
put me
to my security
in the backyard.
I'll be like, yo,
you gotta get me in. I ain't never asking you for this. I know that's security etiquette. You don't ask to get into places, but motherfucker, I need you.
Yeah,
for real. Be like that,
legit, because that's right in the backyard. You want to put local fighters on the card.
And what a story would that be? Because before I got signed, when I got back from Tough, I went to the Izzy Pajeda card last year.
Yeah.
I went to that card. So from being in the
Before you were in
stands, from being in the stands to now being in the cage, how lit would that
be?
be?
Nosebleeds?
From the
nosebleeds
nosebleeds
to
make
make
it
it
nosebleeds.
Oh yeah.
So my boy Johnny had some fire seats his buddy
shit.
gave him, and we were
Okay.
like there's the floor seats next to the cage, and we were like right behind that.
I was
Tito Ortiz was sitting behind us.
Damn.
Tito Ortiz was like 2
Yeah, they
rows
don't fuck with
behind
Tito.
us.
They like, hey, put the motherfuckers, put him right there. Fuck
We
Tito.
saw GSP. We were seeing everybody. You saw Joe
Trump.
Rogan like right next. We saw Trump. I have a video on my phone of Trump walking right by.
Yeah.
Yeah, a video on my phone of Trump walking right by. It was crazy.
Hey,
with Kid
let's
Rock.
go.
He was always with Kid Rock. For
That's
some reason.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah, that's a weird combination always, right?
Yeah,
They
right.
Came out the same.
Kid Rock, Dana, Trump.
Yeah.
Always.
Hey,
Crazy.
man, that's a duo right there.
Yeah.
I forgot. I had a thought in my head randomly. There's no particulars. This is way out of context, but yeah, it's not really. It's kind of what we're talking about. I said I didn't like Roosevelt. There's no particular reason. I just don't like the fact that his tattoo says about money.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
It just doesn't make sense.
He has some pretty shitty tattoos.
I'm like, why would you get that on your chest?
Bro,
it says about money. What the fuck does that
He
mean?
definitely got them bitches when he was younger.
Yeah, but still, bro, like, at least put a about money. Like, it's spelled wrong. Like, I ain't even mean to roast it because I know he can beat my ass. Like, I'm not even talking shit. Like, I'm just saying, you got enough money now. You fix that shit. Like,
About money, dog.
like, that was like the first time I saw that shit. I'm like, this nigga got about money on his chest. I'm like, bro, come on, man. You can't be on TV like that. But hey, do you? It probably means something else to him. So I can't talk shit, bro. But what you got going on nowadays, Landon? You say you just keeping it to yourself. You're training.
Bro,
you know,
I've been full time on this fighting shit.
Yeah.
I'm just not really doing anything right now. Right now, I'm in training camp. I plan on doing like a 9-week camp. I started last week. I just did this last week. So I've done 2 weeks. I'm 2 weeks in. I'm gonna do probably like 2 or 3 more weeks. Do a week off, kind of like a deload week.
Yeah.
Push and then go to Vegas. I leave January 30th.
Okay.
So January 30th, I go to Vegas and then do the weight cut, get it done, man. But it's been pretty peaceful. It's been pretty good. Not really much has changed. Just like I said, like. Not training Killcliff anymore. I'm doing the small gym thing. This is actually my first training camp ever doing that. So that's definitely new to me. It's a lot better. I feel like I'm recovering a lot better. I'm actually training probably more than I did when I was at the big gyms because I feel like I'm training higher volume of reps, more drilling. You know,
good
what I mean?
guys too.
But longer sessions. Like I'm doing longer sessions instead of doing like hour intense hard live fighting sessions. I'm doing hour and a half drill session. I have good balance between my sessions, right? Like Monday's a heavy drill day, hour and a half of just drill. Maybe a little bit of light live, but a lot of drill. Tuesday, red line, hard spar, 8 rounds. You know what I mean? MMA gloves, puffies, banging it out, right? Fighting. Like we're not training. We're not just training. We're not sparring. We're fighting, right? Saturday, Tuesday's fight day. At night, I've been going to train with Juan. Juan now, I don't know if you guys know Juan. Juan Galarza. He owns Silver Fox Jiu-Jitsu in Coral Springs.
Okay.
He actually was training. He was training in New York. And with John Donner and shit, so he's a really, really good jiu-jitsu guy. I've been working on my jiu-jitsu with him, doing classes at his gym. He actually fought MMA as well. He has a couple amateur fights, and he has 1 pro fight. And his 1 pro win is against Nazim Sadikov.
Shit.
Nazim Sadikov, the dude who fought Borishev a couple weeks ago. To the draw, that fucking awesome fight.
Yes.
Nazim
fought
Sadikov,
early on?
Aljamain Sterling's boy.
Yes.
So he submitted in first round. He has a really, really good jiu-jitsu, man. He's good at MMA. He's mean with it, boy. Really good back control. So I've been doing a lot of drilling with him. My boxing coach, George Kravitz, I've been working with him twice a week, Thursdays and then Saturday. I feel like I have everything really.
Everything's good for you.
Everything's very organized right now. I'm able to finish my week. I've never in all my time as a pro, have been able to finish a full week of a training camp without canceling at least one session. I have not canceled a single session.
That's good.
But that's not my work ethic. You know what I mean? It's just the way I was trained. I was always so overtrained, always so fucked up. I would get sick, I'd get injured. I would I'd be too worn down to do anything. Like now it's like I'm definitely worn down by the end of the week. I'm definitely fucked up. No training camp is fun. If you're in training camp, it's gonna be hard. You know? It sucks. But like I'm able to finish.
Right.
I feel the progression. I feel myself getting in better shape. I feel myself getting stronger. I feel my cardio getting better. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm winning more rounds little by little by little without even trying to win them. I'm still working on the things that I'm working on. You know what I mean? Because realistically, when you're training for a fight, you're working on the things you need for that fight. So it's not like you're trying to win everything. People get the misconception that when you're training, you have to win everything.
Right.
Yeah. I've kind of gotten my mind out of that mindset, like I have to dominate every moment of every round, and I have to dominate every session. Because you want to be able to do that when you're in a fight, but in training you got to drop that ego. Because even guys that are not better that are not better than you, they might be better than you at that moment. Some exchanges. Like for example, if I go with the guy that's a newbie or whatever, like I go with the guy that I know I'm way better than, just because I'm way better than him doesn't mean his ass ain't gonna hit me.
Right.
Like I might be in a sparring round with him for a 5-minute round. You think I'm not gonna lose an exchange? I throw a 1-2, he counters me with something nice.
Yeah.
Don't mean shit. But I used to have this thing where like if I'm not dominating every second or I'm getting hit by guys like, why the fuck am I getting hit by this guy? Why is that? Why is, you know what I mean? That's not just how fighting works. You know, Too Solid, Drilla, you know Drilla? Jared Betancourt, he's been training with us now. He's a 125. He's on our team too. And he told me that the other day because, you know, your boy who was on the podcast here, my fucking
John.
bro, John was here, right?
Yeah.
And yo, I ain't gonna lie, he was my main training partner for this almost his
so
last
good,
year.
man.
But dog, I used to fuck him up at ACG, I feel. And then when he started training me, he would whoop my fucking ass, bro. Lanky, crazy striking, kicks all over the place. He was fucking.
He would hold back a lot at ACG.
He don't hold back on me. He never held back on me, but we would
you're
go
bigger,
at it.
You know,
but we're the same weight class.
Yeah, you guys
But
are nice.
he's tall as shit. But when I would train with him, like, bro, we go back and forth because we're so familiar with each other. Because it's not like now we have a little bit more of a squad. Not a huge squad because, like I said, I don't want more than like 6 people. You don't need a big room. Like, just a couple people. But he's like one of my guys. He was my only guy for like 6 months. Him and Juan. But Juan's so injury plagued that he's just resulted in now just coaching. Yeah. But bro, John would fuck me up so bad. He would leave me fucking discouraged. I'd be like, bro, like why the fuck? Like I'm in the UFC. Like I mean, John's shouldn't be 1 and 2. John should be fucking way better than that. It's just about management and like where he picked his fights, the time of his life.
He was,
I agree with
he
that.
Went into it
because he should. If once he gets fighting, he's a fucking problem. You know what I mean?
Really fucking. He's so underrated.
He is a
man.
fucking
like,
problem. Like, he's not as physical as he could be, but he's a fucking problem.
I thought I was nice, and I remember one time we were sparring, and I'm like, I was doing some nice stuff to him, and then he was like, no.
But bro, he was fucking me up, and I feel like a big reason he was fucking me up so bad was my ego. Like I want to dominate every round. Like I want to be more physical than him, and I want to pressure him. I want to walk him down. And bro, he's so long and so good with his knees, and he's just touching me, turning me, moving me, and like I'm not hitting him. It's like I'm missing him. Like I can't hit him.
He's
and it's because I'm
fluid,
trying
man.
to win everything. I'm trying to win every moment, and that's just not fucking possible with John.
Right.
Because if you play a point fight with a guy that's 6'2", 6'3", that's not only 6'2", 6'3", that has good awareness of his range and good striking, I'm gonna lose that battle every time.
Right.
So now Drilla told me in my head, he was watching a spar. He's like, you're not changing your tempo. And you're trying to win every moment. You got to be on your Volk shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, pick your battles. You don't got to win every moment, every round. Little battles will add up into wins, right?
Yeah,
so it's like, for example, I lose an exchange with John. That doesn't mean I got to get discouraged. Keep touching my jab, low kick. Oh, okay, I landed a low kick. I won. That's a win.
Yep.
A jab, low kick. He didn't hit me. That's a win. Okay, I feint him. I make a miss. I draw out 2. Okay, he hit me with a 2-3. Okay, cool. Reset. Shoot a takedown. Okay, I don't get the takedown. No problem. Okay, now he broke off. But I put weight on him.
Yeah.
I didn't have to win the takedown, but I made him work. Now I'm back to my jab.
He's thinking about it now.
Then he kicked me, right? I blocked the kick. Then I throw back and counter, reset. Now I just did another little win. He might win another exchange there. Then I win another 2 exchanges. Little by little, you break it down. You win one at a time, right?
Yeah.
So I feel by using that mindset, I feel like I'm winning rounds a lot more, and I'm making a lot better progress in all the areas I'm training with, whether it be my jiu-jitsu, whether it be my wrestling, my wall work. Like I feel like I'm applying that mindset to all my rounds. So I feel like I'm getting a lot more quality reps and a lot more quality work in everything I'm doing. So the improvement has gone like from what I was doing in these big gyms where it was fight all the time. I feel like now it's like everything's more specific and organized and put together, and I can just feel a huge difference. You know what I mean?
Man,
So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm a lot happier with it.
You know what I'm saying? You seem a lot happier now. You seem a lot calmer.
Yeah.
Your demeanor is like a lot more chill. Back in the day, you were kind of always anxious and like ready to fucking scrap. But like now you're like, you know, you're solid. You're freaking good. I mean, you always have been, but I can see the big difference in you now versus like probably a year or two ago.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
like,
bro. It's growing up, bro.
You get older,
like,
man.
Every year, like, you know what I mean? You'd be surprised what you see, bro. You know what I mean? How old are you now, Miles?
28, about to be 29.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying, though? But, like, every year, like, you know what I mean? I think I really started kind of growing up once I hit 25. A little bit more. I started being a little bit more smart. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm still fucking stupid.
Well, your brain is...
No, we're still kids, man.
Technically develops at 25 fully.
Fully.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, God,
I think so.
Damn, I can tell.
Like
I started making better financial decisions, better emotional decisions. Better, you know what I mean? Everything just got a lot better after that.
No, it's good, man. It's good. It's good. It's happy to see you in this mindset and in this wave, and then you're doing good things, and it's only good. It's only the ceilings is always up from here, man.
Yeah,
you're gonna do
sure.
so much more. I see you. You know your mindset, like just how you explain that there, like little by little, 10 seconds at a time, wins here, wins here, wins here. You're not getting discouraged off something like most, like me and JJ probably would, like, oh, he got cracked. Fuck, you're gonna think about that the whole time, the whole round, or like even.
That's happened in my last fight.
You know what
I
I mean?
got cracked here, and I was like, oh, I can't fight no more.
You don't even think of it as like, oh, I won or lost that round. You're like, okay, these are the exchanges I won during this round. And then you go into the next round with a positive mindset. Yeah, that's something that you can.
Yeah, but the beautiful part too is also like that mindset works. But the beautiful part is when you train with the same body so many times, they know you.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes that like I'll be able to get over on John. And I'll win rounds and I'll dominate off doing that. And some days he figures me out. He does it to me.
Yeah.
So it's like when you get guys like that, it's like it keeps you more accountable because you're not in a room of like 20, 30 different bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you get like these looks and you got to figure it the fuck out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I like that about it too. You know.
That's awesome, brother. Well, I think that's our time for the day, bro. But hey, man, I really appreciate you coming by. When's your fight again and where? It's Vegas, but like what
February
date?
3rd at the Apex UFC Fight Night. I think it's Roman Dolidze versus I don't know who the fuck.
It doesn't matter. Let's go.
We're the main event. You're the main event.
Are you on the main card?
And Nursidine Imavov.
Oh shit, that's a good fight.
Yeah,
Are you on the main card now or
no, I'm low on the card. I'll be
low
second fight of the
prelims?
night.
Okay,
Yeah, so it looks like,
that's how you start off though.
It's the only fight I'm watching anyway.
But I was spoiled. I was spoiled. Yeah, that fight night kind of fucking sucks. Oh, I ain't gonna lie though. They got a really good fight on there. Moicano and Drew Dober's on that card.
Okay,
That's a
okay.
banger
That's
fight.
a banger
fight.
yeah.
But
It's a sleeper card, bro. Whenever people look at those cards and like it's not good, those always end up being the best cards.
I hope so.
I'm such a huge fan of the fucking UFC, bro. I'm that guy. I'll watch the first fight to the very last fight. Like
I watched them all yesterday.
I watch them all,
Yesterday
bro.
I watched
yesterday
most
was good.
of
I watch the fight nights, even
All
if
the
it's like the
prelims.
shitty fight. Like when it's like, bro, I don't care who it is. Because they're all just so good, man. There's a lot of fights you go under the card and like, people don't think about it. It's not a big name. Like right now, like I wouldn't say that you're a big name, but people don't know you. But once they once they watch you fight, they've seen your previous fights, bro. You're gonna blow the fuck up.
It's
because
picking-
you
the
bring
fu-
it, bro. Like
The following's picking up a lot better than I thought it would, though. I ain't gonna lie.
That's good,
After
bro.
one fight, I had a really good fight, and then the Ultimate Fighter was a huge thing.
Yeah.
though. Tough
I saw
was
you
like,
went up. You went from like you had like 4,000. Then after Tough, you went up to 20, right?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I remember, bro.
it's
would watch
good,
that
bro.
shit.
Like fucking, bro. I'm saying like. You're fighting Australia. Everyone count when you're the new guy, short notice. Everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's gonna get fucked up. This guy's really good."
They
Who
were feeding
cares?
me to the wolves in that one, bro. You
Bro,
saw
they fed you to the
Nasrat's fight last
wolves,
week,
bro.
Yeah.
You saw Nasrat beat
Got
Jamie
a quick
Malarkey,
knockout,
knocked his
bro.
ass out. Yeah,
And I think down the line, that's a good fight for you, Jamie Malarkey.
I'll
Bro.
knock Malarkey out.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like,
If Nasrat knocked him out, I'll knock his ass
bro,
out.
that's what I'm saying.
He's
Like,
a good fighter, though. Don't get it twisted.
he is, but just your styles. In my head, I was thinking, I'm like, bro, before that fight, I think Malarkey's a good matchup for Landon.
You
like,
give it that
down the
motherfucker
line.
way too much credit. Stop playing.
No, I swear to God,
I want the smoke from that boy Patty. I need
Yeah,
some bread. I need some. I need some bread in my bank account. That's what I need. That's
Time
what I
out.
need.
If you fight Patty, I'm with you all the way. But disclaimer, Pat. You already know this. I love Patty.
I ain't gonna lie though, with the way he's carrying himself, I kind of like him too. Like,
Yeah, bro, I love Patty.
He was
bro.
cool.
Like,
He was cool in that press conference with Tony.
Yeah,
he
man.
fought like even though he doesn't. I don't think he's that good. Like the way he speaks is a lot more humble than like I thought than he was before.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got humbled from the last fight.
From Jared
for sure.
Gordon, he's a lot more humble, but it's not like humble, like not confident humble. It's a lot. I feel like after he got challenged in that big stage, he kind of has a higher respect for the fight game now.
And he wants to prove
you know what I'm saying?
himself.
Like instead of being this, like it's one thing like you could be a loudmouth and confident and say what the fuck you're gonna do, and I admire that because it shows you're not afraid to eat your words. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah.
But you got to be realistic. I feel like if you're over here being delusional, you could. I feel like you look stupid if you're too delusional. You know what I'm saying? Like
example,
beat
Colby Covington.
Yeah,
at the end of that fight,
Bro, he really thought he won that fight. Fuck.
No, I think
I don't got a scratch
I don't-
on me and then
I don't
bleeding.
think he thought he won that
cut
fight.
right here. There's a big ass cut right here.
Yeah, I don't think he thought he won that fight. I think he was just continuing with the bullshit. Like,
Leon's so good though, bro. I literally called that. I should have made a bet, bro. I said Leon by decision.
Really?
Yeah, I said
I thought he
Leon
was
by
gonna
decision.
TKO him, honestly.
Nah, I didn't think so.
Somehow.
I knew, bro. You gotta understand who you be fighting, bro. Like,
Leon-
Kobe might be a wrestler. You might not got a great stand-up, but Kobe's tough as fuck.
But Leon Edwards, that's another guy. Just to prove your point further, is another guy. Stick with the same people. Day one doesn't come from a huge gym.
And his coach, like his relationship with his coach, is kind of like his relationship with me, with my relationship with Roger.
Yeah.
It's like his father figure. He didn't have a dad growing up. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have a lot of good examples, and he found somebody that
You
kind
saw
of
him after
put
the
him in
fight.
line.
He was screaming at Kobe the whole time.
And Roger would do the same
Yeah.
shit.
He's like, "You been fighting
Roger,
it."
if someone talked to me like that, and we
That
was
was a
beefing like
reckless
that,
comment,
we would
but-
both. And you saw Leon walked up on Kobe too, just in case, because
Yeah.
his coach was getting his. I would do the same shit.
Yeah.
But like they say that, like if you have a loyalty to somebody like that, like it's like Ray Longo. Like I remember who said this. I think it was Aljamain or something said this about Ray Longo or Weidman. Is like the reason his fighters fight so well with him in the corner is because like he gives them that vibe that he's ready to die for them, and they feel like they're ready to die for him. Like they're in that like they have that family bond. They're like they'll do anything for each other. You know what I'm saying? And that level of trust is super needed in the corner. That's why you see these big gyms, they're fight factories. You can't have a guy that comes from across the world to come train here for 3 months and then go corner him. I don't feel like that works.
No.
Not as far as the technical aspect, because that could work.
Yeah.
But it takes
The
time.
bond.
It takes time to build a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, how am I going to trust to go to battle with you if you're not like there for me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
my safety is in your hands.
Yeah.
Like, if you're telling me to do something and I do it,
Have to
and I
believe.
do something and I get knocked out because you told me to do it, that's a lot. You're gonna have to live with that.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I'm saying? I have to live with it too because I'm the fighter and I need to know my judgment, right? Sometimes you say something and it's not the right moment for it.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm gonna look for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But like,
But that is a trust aspect of it because you may not think doing that is gonna work, but
Yeah.
you trust that person.
But I
he's
know it'll
saying-
work. I know it's there if they say it.
Yeah.
But I understand. Like for example, I know Roger. If he tells me something, that doesn't mean I have to do it right away like a video game.
Exactly.
That just means it's gonna open up.
Yeah.
So when he says like, okay, 2 down, 3 up, that means that guy's dropping his hand. So I'll look at him and I won't throw 2 down, 3 up right away, but I'll throw a couple jabs and I'll look where his hands are moving. I'm like, oh, there it is, bop bop, and then I'll catch it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I know that's how you listen to your corner.
Right,
You don't
right.
just do it. It doesn't work like a video game.
Yeah.
But it's there. Sometimes like your judgment is gonna be there. Okay, it's not there right now, right? Like you guys see me corner Jimmy plenty of times.
Yeah.
I'm like when I fought Fernando, like I told him like, oh, Fernando used to be a fat boy, right?
Yeah.
Fernando's a good ass kickboxer. I know you've watched Fernando's fights
Yeah.
in the amateur scene, like when you go to the XFM fights,
Yeah,
he's
I've
been winning
seen
a lot
him.
of belts. But I told him like, look, we're gonna beat up his body early, and then when he starts getting desperate, where he's gonna try to pressure you first. I want you to hit him hard, and when you start backing him up, don't jam yourself. I want you to start throwing stabs, hit his body. When he hits his body, he's gonna get desperate. He's gonna try to clinch you. That's when we're gonna finish him. We're gonna start putting combinations together. We're gonna stop him, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But it's not like Jimmy threw a stab kick every time I said it.
No.
Throw a jab, move your feet, bam,
Yep.
touch.
just when you see it. Yeah.
Stick to it, Jimmy. Bam, stick to it.
Yeah.
All right, throw it, feint, throw that right hand. He's backing up. Oh, he didn't throw it
Slapped
right
his
away.
ass, yeah.
Got him. Then he throws it. Then the guy clinches him. Elbow, right?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like things will just come together and they flow. You got to learn to
Yeah,
flow
yeah,
with
yeah.
your corner, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like I said, it takes a lot of time.
That's
and it takes a
something
lot of
that,
trust.
like I'm learning now with Hector. Like I know he's been in the game for a while, but I had to learn how to hold pads for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like just say the right things in the corner because But at that point, he's not really listening because he's got.
But with Hector, the difference is like where Hector's at in his career, he doesn't need a head coach. He doesn't need a legit.
Yes.
He just needs someone to give him water, tell him what to do,
Yeah,
and kind
yep.
of train him the way he wants to be trained.
Yep.
He's in it for he's making money and he's having fun right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not in it to be like the UFC champion.
Champion.
He's not in it to be the game bred champ, the bare knuckle champ.
Yeah,
He already was the bare knuckle champ. He was the Bellator champ.
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
his run in the UFC, and now he's making money and enjoying it. He ain't trying to be no fucking crazy guy
Yeah,
anymore.
he's
He's
trying to
40.
make money
He's
to
like
the
40
end.
something years old now. You know what I mean? And he's
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah.
But it's good for you to learn though, because you get to see a guy who's been in the game so
High
long and
level.
how he
Yeah.
operates. You know
Dude,
what
I
I mean?
learned so much just from that experience, like going there. Like a lot of the weird stuff that happens behind the scenes, like with the commission, like with the weight and like the way they like to hide things.
Yeah, they're so grimy.
Yeah, it's so weird, bro. And it was funny.
Fight game's fucked up.
Because Charles told me about it beforehand, and it happened the same, like this. Literally, couple minutes later, some weird weight stuff happened with the opponent, and we're like, what?
Shit like all the time. We got to make the fight happen. So there's too much money on the line. Shit like that,
we recorded the guy missing weight by 3.5 pounds. Leave, go upstairs, go tell Hector. And then they call us, hey, he made weight. He went and threw up and made weight. 3.5 pounds?
Your weights. First of all, if you were already cutting weight, you're too dehydrated.
Yeah, he was there for the whole time. We already had made weight. 2 hours later, he was still cutting weight. Yeah. Then he came back. Then we go upstairs for 10 minutes, and then he threw up. And 3.5 pounds?
Yeah, he took a shit.
He
took he took an invisible shit.
Yeah, get the fuck
out of here.
He still lost. So
he still got fucked up and cried.
Who, the opponent?
Yeah.
That dude was terrible. The Bear Game Red? Roger was there, right? Yeah. That shit looks sick. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, dude.
I can't believe that happened with Jason Knight, bro.
Oh, bro.
You know how embarrassed I was, bro? You know how embarrassed I was? Because I ain't gonna lie, bro. Jason Knight was talking all this shit. Yeah, like, I thought me and Jason...
He's good, though. You know what I mean? Like, Jason Knight's not a bad fighter.
He's shot now, though.
You
to
think?
Be real, yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Really?
My thing is, like, on Tough, I feel like my performance was mental. I feel one, I think, like, when you train for a fight, it has to be more than just fucking being in shape and making weight.
Yeah.
When you're trained for a fight, what makes you ready for a fight is doing rounds, sparring, you know what I mean, grappling, being in bad scenarios, drilling, technique, things like that. I was injured as fuck going into Tough, right?
Yeah.
So I might have been good, like, after all the rehab and, like, cardio, my weight might have been good. I might have made it to the fight, but I was not ready to fucking fight.
Yeah.
And when I went to fight, I feel like it was my first time in a scenario like that because, like, bro, I've been in big crowds. Like, I've been on the Titan fights. I've traveled and fought. I've fought in other people's hometowns. I've fought in crazy situations, like, wow, like, where we have to get escorted out the building, shit like that.
Yeah.
But, like, bro, when I went to that Apex for that first fight, bro, it was such an eerie quiet and such a fucking weird energy in the room. I've never felt
I felt
anything.
it through the TV, honestly.
Bro,
awkward,
when you're there and you got Dana there, you got Connor, like, bro, it was so weird. Like, I've never felt anything like it. So when it was my turn to fight, I was so nervous. Like, for you that have fought before, there's something when you're in the back, like you're able to bring yourself down to a certain level and calm yourself down.
Right.
Every fighter's different. Some guys like to be fired the fuck up. Some guys like to be super calm. Some guys are in the middle. I thought I would do my best if I was really calm. So I feel like because I was so nervous, I kind of dismissed the nerves. I brought myself down to a level to where I wasn't nervous at all. And when I went to fight, and Jason, I ain't gonna lie, I don't think Jason's that great. But he, at one point before, when he was doing well, he was top 15 in the world. I had that in my mind. I watched the Dan Hooker fight. I had watched him and shit, and I thought I was gonna get a crazy Jason Knight. So in my head, I was already overthinking that because I hadn't been well trained for the fight. And I downplayed the moment to where I made myself not nervous. So when I went out to fight him and he started super fast on me, it froze me. Which is very unlike me. That's why everyone's like, yo, like, we thought you were going to knock him the fuck out. We were going to spark him. Like, people know what I'm capable of. People have seen me fight. They've trained with me. They know what I could do, and that was not me. Right? You know what I'm saying? No, that wasn't me. And no excuse, though. He won that fight, and because I performed like that, he deserved to win that day. But I will say this. If seeing Randy Costa beat him and a guy that I feel like could beat 9 times out of 10, like the way he beat him, I was like, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Talking about a 35er. Like, Randy Costa 35er.
And I'm not
he
even
dogged Jason.
I like Randy. You know, I call him my twin, and like, but I was having, me and Coach were talking about it. I was having doubts. I'm like, damn.
I mean, the thing about Randy is a cold ass first round fighter.
Yeah.
And when Randy shows up and he gets going, that's when you have problems. Because Randy's good. Randy ain't no bad fighter.
Yes.
It's just because sometimes he gets fucking in his own
that
head.
First round, yes. It's always been like his last couple of fights. It was like that. So I was like, man, I don't know, but he is a dog in the first, bro.
Yeah, but
that
dude,
head kick.
Jason Knight looks a step behind. He looks like slower. He looks older. He looks like he's taking too much damage. And then I watch him get fucked up by Randy, and I'm like, bro, if I would have showed up like half of what I could show up, I beat him 9 times.
What weight class was that at?
55.
Randy
Jason's
went
a
up?
45er. Randy went up to
No.
fight Jason.
It was 45. Sorry.
I fought Jason at 55.
It was 45.
On the Ultimate Fighter, it was at 55.
Okay.
Jason was not cutting weight like that.
Okay.
But I just fucking froze up in the moment. But I'm like, I watched Randy win that. I'm like, bro, if Randy could do that, I could have done so much worse.
Yeah.
But in reality, I'm thankful for that because that's what I learned about myself. I learned that being calm in those situations like that, it's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I fight my best when I'm fired the fuck up.
Fired up.
When you're not afraid to waste energy and you leave your heart out there and you go, you go. I'm a cardio guy, so I feel like when I'm in good shape and I just go, I fight my best. Like in Australia, I was scared as fuck.
Yeah.
I was in the back and I was like pacing and like I was tripping, bro. And the crowd, I walked out and I was like, let's go. Like,
you got some
know what I mean?
Australian fans out of that one, bro.
The Aussies just going crazy.
Down under.
Bro, that's when I was like, yeah, let's fucking go, bro. You know what I mean? But that's when I fight my best. I'm not a guy that's good at being calm. I'm good at when I go.
No, that's
You know
good.
what I mean?
And I mean, the silver lining in that aspect is, I mean, one, you got a nice takedown against the cage I didn't think you were capable of doing that.
And Jason don't want no wrestling. Come on.
I mean, but he's
I can wrestle, bro.
He's
Jason
a ground guy. But anyway,
brag about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and then also, it's not an L on your record.
Yeah, I mean that's good.
That's a good
part.
part.
It's an L in my heart.
In your heart. Well, hey, it doesn't go on the
heart,
thing.
And he can say he beat me.
Yeah,
so
but
that drives me crazy. This fucking hillbilly who was like he acted like we were cool in the tough house, bro. The anxiety and like the pressures of the house was making me irritable, and like I had little beefs with people and shit. It wasn't that bad,
yeah.
But it was like, bro, it's like you're dealing with all these personalities. You're fucking everyone's cutting weight. People you ain't getting no pussy for like 6 weeks.
Yeah,
you know, everyone's fucking irritated. You can't even go out the house to run. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like we got along pretty. Me and Jason got along pretty well. But like even when I got signed to the UFC, he's like, why the fuck did he get signed and I get signed? You're fucking hillbilly. That's why. You know what I'm saying? Like first of all, I feel like I might have had a shit showing, but I feel like my overall performances and my style is
you're younger, aren't you? You're
yeah, but he's not even that old. He's like 30.
He's like 30. Oh damn!
But he's like 40 in fight years. You know,
yeah. I'm surprised he's so young. He's like the same age as us.
I will say this,
he's been fighting forever.
He's still a dog, though. He's a tough motherfucker. I've seen him in so many wars. You can't help but be a fan.
I think he's a good fighter.
Yeah, but
he's just at least he's a very experienced fighter. Yeah. His record doesn't reflect his skill set, but then again, he just
he got a good ass record. What you talking about? He got a good record.
What's his loss? He has like
but he got a lot of wins,
digits,
bro. He got a lot of fights. Bro, Jason has like 40 something fights if you include his amateur fights. Jason has a lot of experience. I fought the most experienced guy in the house.
Yeah.
I don't think he beat me because of his skill. I think he beat me because he just put that vet experience on me. He showed me, this kid's gonna be flustered. I'm gonna put the pressure on him, and we'll see. I think he's gonna freeze because he's never been in this moment. And ain't gonna lie, he was fucking right. Sadly, you know what I mean. But I feel like the Landon that fought Nasrat, half of the guy that fought Nasrat would finish Jason.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's why when I saw Randy beat him, like that, not just he beat him like that. I was like. I was so heated. I was happy for Randy though, because Randy's a good fighter. I'm not saying Randy's not a good fighter, but I was like, "Fuck my life, bro." Like, this is embarrassing. But Troy was telling me, he called me, he's like, "Boy, how you gonna get beat up by a little 45?" He's like, he called me, he's like, "I don't think I want you on the team no more. You trash."
Shit.
Troy called my old coach, called me, said that. I was like, "Bro, shut the fuck up."
That's hilarious.
That's fuck out of here.
Hey, at least you got your life balanced out with everything. And that's the important part. So I was really happy to hear that whenever I went to sparring and I was like, yo, you want to smoke? And you're like, nah, I'm not even smoking right now. And you told me you're pretty much on the straight and narrow, and that's what you need in the game. So I'm happy for you, and I'm excited to watch you fight February 9th.
Stupid ass.
Third?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Third.
Yo, fuck.
Oh man. Anyway,
February 3rd. Congratulations, Landon.
Yes.
Thank you for coming out. We appreciate your time, bro. So yeah, we get your subscribe to the motherfucking YouTube channel, the motherfucking Instagram. Give Landon as if he needs anything from us. But go ahead, follow him on. You gotta change it to 55.
Nah, I got trolled and someone took my name. So it's a wrap.
Motherfuckers. But anyway,
for the culture, 45.
That's where he started at. So hey guys, thank you for watching the episode. Until next time, peace.
Peace, bitch.
Thank you to our new sponsors, Flow State Coffee. Flow State Coffee is a performance coffee with ingredients that give you a deeper focus, better mood, and it lowers caffeine-related anxiety so you don't get any jitters or shake. It's coffee made to get shit done.
Be sure to use discount code DEFY, DEFY at checkout for 10% off all sales.